Hey gang, we're back with Worldly Wednesdays, of course, with Distant Worlds 2. We'll be switching across fairly soon to starting to play something a bit different, maybe some Gal Civ 4, because Gal Civ 4 has got some big stuff on the horizon, which will be coming out in a week or so, a couple of weeks. So this may be the last or second last one of the Distant Worlds runs that we do for a little while. We'll certainly be coming back to it, but we're close to losing anyway. Let's just go and continue our current game, which is, if I've enjoyed the feedback about that this extended play has been quite a good one. I'd still need to go in and try to make a playlist. I think I'm going to have to upload some of the streams that I did on Slytherin as well. Like I do actually have some more coming up on Slytherin as well. So if the game is not over by that stage, I will actually continue on and maybe sort of play it a bit more in Slytherin as well while we're sort of doing these different other sorts of games, playing different games. Also, what is it? Not Gal Civ. Interstellar Space Genesis is also had some big updates, but I haven't really had a good look at. So there's some a lot of the Space 4Xs which are really on the improve at the moment, with a lot of things actually happening. So hi John, how you going? So also some other games that I've sort of got my hands on. There's a game coming out from Microprose, which I just picked up the key today actually. I'm not sure if it's out yet, called Dagger Directive. That is really cool. I'm really looking forward to showing some content with that one in the coming days and weeks, because it's a first-person shooter, which is not what I normally show, but it's actually, I'm really impressed with what I've seen. I've only played it for like 15 minutes just to sort of see what I like, and yeah, I was almost, I felt like just playing it. I had to stop myself so I could go and do this live stream. So I'll be playing that a fair bit, I think. Hi Harmony, how you going? So you've got NGL. I'm not sure what NGL means. Sorry, I'm not really up with all. I know what LOL is and Ruffle and all those things, but I don't know what NGL is. I haven't played the new update for this game yet. This game has just gotten better and better over time. There hasn't been any updates for a little while though, I don't think. Let me have a quick look and see. I haven't really checked. Don't even know what version I'm playing. Am I playing the open beta, or am I playing something completely different? Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look at it. Yeah, I don't have the, not playing any of the open betas. I wonder if I shouldn't do that. I'll just go to properties and have a quick look and see. There's beta 1304. I might actually do that actually. I might flick that one on. I don't know what has come with that. Let's have a quick look at the discussions. Public beta available. Okay. Crash fixes, fleets, fuel tankers. Yeah, look, I think I will actually. I think I will. Because we are playing, I forget which version we're playing at the moment. So I'll just go back out to it and exit to main menu. We'll just have a quick look and see which version. I think this is 02. 03. Okay, so there's a new beta. Okay, so we'll actually go and exit out of this one. Sorry guys, I'll just quickly do this. So to change to your betas, all it is just open up Steam, go to your library, go to where Distant Worlds is, right click, properties, betas, drop down, the different ones. I've got a few, like when they were testing the RTOX and stuff, I've still got a few of these other ones. But we'll see beta 1304 there if it's the new beta. It will then download. It shouldn't take too long to do that one. There we are, pretty much done and dusted. So that's now in the top of my downloads. There's nothing else there. Yep, there it is there. All right, that's done, and we can now go and play that version. The game doesn't really need restarts when you do chop and change this a little bit, but I do like to have the open betas because it does. They're quite like they're stable. They have been stable for me anyway. Hi Boland, how you going? And hi to anybody else that's joined us as well. And again, if I'm playing this and you've got any questions about the game, please just ask away, because it's one of these games where there is a perceived complexity. There is actually complexity, but it's a lot of it is perceived more than anything else. Now we've got 1304, back in through there. So we've got this slight new changes. We'll just go and continue our game and get back into it. So yeah, it's not a it's a game that I think people actually sort of, because so much goes on in the game, that they think, oh, well, I've got to stop and do this or stop and do that. It is pausable, but you don't have to do everything either. Like there's a lot of things that you can just sort of let the game go ahead and do. Now we're currently at war with the Daoits, and the reason I've actually focused in on this star system called Draco is that it's an Artuk world controlled by the Daoits, and so this is an old it's a continental moon back into here around a gas giant, and in this instance, what have we got through there? A resort base, which is actually ideal for us to be able to take over this world and get the resort base. We don't know any troops that they've got. There is actually an armor barracks there, which is interesting. So I would probably ditch that. Now what have we got in through here? We've got a lot of Daoits, a lot of Artuks, some Harkonish and some Gizarians there as well. Alrighty, the reason that we want this planet is because when we have a look at this, at the victory conditions, we'll have a quick look at this one now. We're here, but look at the Gizarians. They're very close to winning the game, extremely close. Now they've pretty much maxed out all of their race victory conditions. Now, if we can knock them back a little bit, that will help, but are we going to be able to really do that one? Have the most colonies in the galaxy, 53 colonies. We're not even close with that one. Build the most military ships in the galaxy. At the moment, the Artuk oligarchy has got 475 military ships built, but these guys have got a lot more. They're just underneath that number, so they're at 98% of that number. So they're going to be around about, say, 450 odd, or maybe even more. And spend the most time at war in the galaxy. The Ikaru have got slightly more. Now, if they end up getting like that progress, you can see there that the victory conditions, they're already at 25 of 25%. So they're already maxed out, and there's nothing we can really do to push that one backwards. Except destroy colonies, I guess, and find somebody else with more colonies, but nobody else is even close to this number. So there's really not much I can do there. So it's going to be, as these colonies that they've got, the 53 colonies, as they start to develop and their economy, their population and their territory increases, you can see there that it's not going to take very long before those colonies they've got will push them up beyond that mark there. So I'm thinking that we're in a lot of trouble in the actual game itself. So yeah, we're a long way behind in terms of our economy, population, and territory. But we will need to eventually go to war with them. So the Daoits are just slightly behind us. They've got a better economy than what we've got. But we are going to start to push hard now, and basically we need to get into a position where we can start to do a lot of damage to the Gizarians if we possibly can. Yeah, it's a hard one. So for us, the Gizarians, they need to have the largest capitalist ship. We need to, for us to sort of move ahead, we've still got to find a whole lot of other things as well. We haven't lost any colonies at all. Capture the most foreign characters. The Dantanui Anthropod, which is the group above, have actually captured more than what we have. We're at 80% of that one. Control 25% of all the deep ocean colonies in the galaxy. So we control 2, but it's only 6%. Not that it matters much. I'm not really worried about the score for us. I'm more worried about trying to bring this score down. So if we can take their economy down, it's going to be a long war if we do that. That's going to be very, very hard. But the only way we can really do that effectively is to nullify our neighbours. And the neighbours that we have, we've got the Daoits that we're at war with right now. And so this is an opportunity for us to set up for, in case they don't get over that mark there. In case that doesn't happen, then we'll be able to push a bit harder. But we need to be prepared and ready for the expansion into the Gizarian territory. And so that's what we're going to be looking at, this little world in just a second. So the Daoits are in through there. They're only just behind us. They've got a better economy overall. And also the other neighbour that we have is the Boscara Overmind Ascendancy. And we sort of crushed them in the last war with them to the point where they're in a lot of trouble. So it's sort of funny, look, with them. We might even have a look at what they are doing, because They will possibly go to war with us. I'm surprised at how quickly they've been able to bounce back. But we'll have a bit of a look and see sort of where they are in the grand scheme of things. But we sort of absolutely smashed them last time, and we're going to now try to do the same thing with the Dayots. So the Dayots, this is Dayot territory, and through here they do actually have another location here, right in the very, very middle of all of the Gizarian territory. This is all Gizarian worlds all the way out through here. Like not all of these out through this other side, but you can see how big their territory is. So to stop them, we ultimately need to crush these little worlds. But we don't want to be taking them over because they're going to be too, it's just going to take way too long. So it's sort of one of these things is like, how do we sort of sanitize what they do? And I think that what we're going to have to do is actually attack their homeworld, Dat Nui. And actually, if we can crush their homeworld, that's possibly the one opportunity we have to stop them. In one sense, if we can actually take their homeworld off them or even destroy it, it's going to that's going to put a big dent in their economy, and that will then sort of buy us a little bit of time. But we can't do that yet. We're not at war with them, so we need to get close enough to strike. And if I use the Alt key, which then opens up the distances, I've got to wish that this was a tool that we had access down the bottom through here. It's sort of, you've got to know to press the Alt key to then go into the displaying distances. You then left click and then click on somewhere else. That's 250 odd M to go from Draco across into the homeworld, which is a long distance. That's a long way to go. It's a bit of a trouble one. We were actually trying to get across into Natui and through here and take this world, which is only 200. It's still 200, but we're actually now moving back. We've actually got an attack force plus an invasion force that was coming across into Natui. We'll now send them back to Draco, and so Draco will now become the target. So we were sort of already through their territory before war was declared. I hope that sort of all makes sense, but this is actually now what the target will ultimately be. That was going to be our staging point for attacking these, but now that we've actually at war with the Dayots, we sort of now need to really sort of crush them as well, to the point where maybe we even take their homeworld. So I think we'll just be focusing on this war and just hope that the Gizarians don't manage to be able to sort of bounce over that limit we actually have. So that's sort of where we are. The Boscara are back in through here. We've taken one of the Boscara worlds and we now sort of control this area. We bombed their home world into submission. What's this one through here? They've just got little fleets that are left over. They've still got a presence, but they're not going to be able to really afford it much. They're going to have to sort of try to rebuild. Like that's, for example, this world here is just an Actarian world. I would love to have grabbed this, but I don't. Yeah, that would have been a cool one to have landed on. This is the home world of the Boscara, the bug faction, and so we've actually sort of taken our ambassador away from here because it's just so it's growing quickly again. Actually, it's over 1 billion. We got it down to 700 million, but they're growing very, very quickly at this location. So migration inflow. This colony is a mildly appealing destination for new migrants. I don't know if the quality is still bombed. Damage is still 14.2%. So they're repairing it from the nuclear blasts that we had sort of subjected that world to in the last war. The Boscara are not trading with us yet, which is sort of interesting. They're angry with us. Here we go. No, they are now, actually. So our trade income, 3,300 credits over the last 5 years. That will have only just, you can see they're in a hover over it. This year, like last year, they had to buy 2,588. This was actually the goal of this war. And we may do the same thing with the Dayots as well, is to take as much of their infrastructure as possible so that they have to pay us for anything that they want to go and buy. And so around their homeworld, like if we have a look at the Boscara homeworld, we'll sort of find that a lot of the locations have now got mining stations that we've established. And so essentially, there's still going to be different ore prospectors and things coming in. But even their Caslon supply, they sort of have to come in and buy it off us. So there's a whole range of different things in through there where really they're sort of now a bit beholden to us to keep their economy going, which means that they're sort of now forced to trade with us. And that's all came through from the last war. The last war we stayed in it for a fair length of time, so we could just establish these different mining stations in different locations, trying to get the most strategic resources, just so that they really have to then spend all their money buying them back off us, which is another way of sort of playing the game, like an economic way of playing the game. So we did a bit of a combination of bombarding down to weaken them, but at the same time, like destroying their fleets, but also then building up an infrastructure inside their territory, which means that they have to buy it from us because they've got no way to actually really sort of do it themselves. So we are going to sort of strangle them with what they have. You can see their war weariness is now 0 again. They may go back to war with us. It's an interesting one actually when we have a look at this one through here, because they've got like a research output is 102, known revenue is 151k, so that's actually sort of up there. Population is still 20 billion. So they've got still got a large population in other locations with nine colonies. Known military strength though is 0. We did crush them, and I don't think that they're going to be able to really pay for things. So I don't think that they're really going to be able to survive. I mean, they can survive, but there's going to be subsistence, and that's sort of where we now need to crush the Dayuts back over here into that sort of submission as well. So anyway, that's sort of where we are strategically in the game. So it's quite deep, the actual this sort of strategy that we're actually performing. Now we also know that there are a lot of ships of the Dayuts that are actually operating in through here, including invading forces, and so we're going to need to crush them as well. So we've got a number of different things we're going to have to do. Hi Supreme Plague and Von Schweinhund, how are you guys going? And Berendon saying 150% tariff opportunity, surely. It's got an MDGA. Is that make the... Well, we're the Weckerus, so it should be MWGA. Mowaga. So, so anyway, Harmony's then sort of saying on YouTube, I haven't played since April, to be clear. So we bombed them from orbit, clearly. Yeah, pretty much. We're going to... but we need to get... Draco is now becoming an important little world that we want to actually control. And we can see through here that the invasion force still has a bit of fuel. If I go and click on the invading force, this is group number 2. That yellow line is the fuel range. And we are going to be wanting to go back now and actually take this world. I don't want to take this independent world. That was what we were going to do. There is actually a research base in through here as well. The Gizarians are all over this. So they've got sort of like different... There's a Dayut mine in through there, for example. So they've got... there's a resort base, there's a research station. And again, this is another... this is a smallish world. I don't know whether to take it or not. You can see our money is pretty bad in terms of cash flow, even though our cash itself is good. We're trying to get the fast mining at this stage, and then we've got light cruisers after that. Queued up, so we're going to then start to get the bigger ships, which we will need. Resort base back and through there. I think we switch all of these back into the Draco system. Let's have a quick look and see, because this war was declared right at the very, very end. You can see there's no war scores there for anyone just yet. In fact, we don't even have war targets. So it's literally at the start of this war where they just declared it on us. So we'll do a bit of analysis of what we want to be going and getting. We can see immediately that there's like a refueling station there. There's refueling back in these controlled areas. We actually want to find Caslon mines. So there'll be a Caslon mine there, Caslon mine there, Caslon mine there. So we'll be wanting to take those as well. To starve them of the Caslon. That's going to then mean that their fuel source... There's another one there. So if we can control the Caslon fairly early, that would be good. Let's have a quick look at the resources. And and just have a bit of a look at the ones that are difficult to come by. So Caslon is one that you can definitely control. So if we go and click on those in through there, all of these circles. Now they also do control these as well from previous times. We have taken worlds from them to push the border back. So you can see there's a fair few little Caslon mines, which will actually just use raiders to destroy those. So we don't have to worry about those so much. Thanks for the subscription there, Began. Very, very much appreciated. So that's so all these different Caslon worlds, there's a lot of them around here that we will be wanting to, of course, basically control. This sector in through here, all of this Caslon, I want to make sure that's under our control. The Dayots do actually have old mines, excuse me, out through this other side. But we will destroy all of those through our fleet system. So we'll go through how we control these fleets. I don't need as many now on the Boscara front as what we had, but I still want to keep a bit of a presence out that way. But we will try to we'll try to push this a little bit harder to get things into here operating. Draco is one of these things now that we've got an invading group through there. I do need to get Draco as one of my, this system has to be controlled by us. We absolutely must have that just to be able to push into Datanui. If we have a quick look and see if there's any other worlds that can be colonised, and if we have a look at the new colonies, potential new colonies, and I really would be wanting to make sure that the stability is over 20. So if we just go that way through there, we can then sort of start to see, where are they? There's one there, for example. So we've got Natu 2 is one that we can't colonise any of these. These are outside of the range. Sonian, these are all too far away. That one there, if we took that one, we would then be able to colonise this world. This is another deep ocean. Oh, sorry, that's a desert savannah moon. That's interesting. Don't know who we'd. We have different groups that are actually that we've got. We could actually we could use one of the other ones that we actually have. Could even be the Artooks, for example, that actually do that one through there. There's another desert savannah planet, but that's way down into here, too far away. And then there's another one sort of way over under here. So that one there is not really going to be close enough to. It's not going to be any closer than Draco. So Draco is really is going to be the target for launching against the Gizarians ultimately. That's more of a long-term target. So let's go and change what we're doing through here. The fourth attack is now going to have to switch back. So the fourth attack force is actually a very, very strong group. And they do actually have, Admiral von Schweinhund is in charge of this particular group. So I'm going to send him back to the Draco system to start to weaken anything that's going on in through here. There is actually this is a Caslon world, and so we'll send them in immediately just to attack this particular mining station. This looks like it may have been an old homeworld, to be honest, of the Artooks potentially. I know that there was like a few of the factions were destroyed, and I'm not sure if the Dayots were one of those that actually did that one. There's a forest moon there as well with Artooks on it, also controlled by the Dayots. So getting these worlds in here would actually be a good thing for us to do. So we'll send the fourth in to destroy this. So we'll just go and tell them to attack Draco 2. And we'll start to bring everything else back in this other side. There's another world there, Continental Moon, but no one's actually controlling this one. No one does have a resort base and a mining station. It's got a few different resources, a few luxuries. Again, getting the resort bases is ideal because that's going to give us the long-range scanners that we need to be able to then sort of see different things into the different territories. If I turn the long-range scanners on or off, we can see there that we're extending a little bit out into here. We don't have quite enough to go into Upsilonus, but we'll actually, which is the home system of the Dayots, but we'll just keep on coming back this way. The second fleet is this is my invading fleet, which has got 6 infantry and 9 armour. And what I'll do is I just need to take I need to take both worlds in the Draco system. So I'll bring that one back as well. I'll just start to sort of drag it back into here. I don't think that the others have got... I don't think that they've... It's just, what's in there? There's actually a... that there is a research station. Well, in that case, what we might do is we might actually just come back in with these guys back into that system there. So just going to go and move that one across to that location, and we'll send the fourth in to actually to attack this. So this is outside the jump range, but we'll actually tell it to come on in and destroy this. Attack the research center. In fact, with the second, what I might do is just tell the second to stop. So I can just say stop and clear any queued missions. So they're just going to sit in space until we're ready for them. That way we can take a research station, which then gives us even more, like we could then get another long-range scanner at that location ultimately. Okay, that gets that one sorted. Let's go through the other fleets that we've got. We've got one big fleet through here. This is the 9th fleet, which is one of my attack fleets. You can sort of see down the bottom through there. The fleet template is attack fleet. It does need to retrofit at some point. It's funny, I thought we'd already done all of our retrofits, but it does want to go off and do that one. I forget what we got as the last tech, but I don't think I need to really go off and do it. The home base is hand 1, and if I do go and do a retrofit, it is going to retrofit at the spaceport there, so I'll allow that to happen. So we'll just go and tell it to retrofit at hand 1. So this is actually going to be controlling this area of space. These have been set up as a raiding force. Not that we need it. I'm going to send that one back to a defensive operation. So it's going to go and be more defensive than to raid. And so its location will be there. It's really the furthest extent of what we actually have. So I don't need it to be very big. And the hand system is really the one that we do need to protect, just in case the Boscara get aggressive again. And so I'm just going to keep it there. So I won't extend the range of that any further. To extend the range, you just go to Tactics. You can then just change the range of your fleets there. So if I decide to change it to just the same system, there is actually a circle there, but it's only this system now, which I could do, but I'll make it 50M, which is sort of like the smallest of the extended ranges, which then does take in the Lambdas group. But we don't really want to be upsetting the Boscara again just yet. We just need to control the world that we took over from them. So let's go through each of the fleet. The first fleet is back over through here again with a defensive role, and it's got a thing to capture the raging moon, which must be a ship that's come in. So it's operating from this location, which is the forest moon that we actually have that has got the Artuk sector here. We've got Artuks and Icarus on this particular world, mainly Artuks. We do have a lot of troops here actually that have been established. We've got planetary beams, we've got planetary fighter bases, and an administration centre. So that one's sort of ready to go. See how the Daots have got like a presence in the actual in the location. This is what we want to be destroying. And so with the, I don't know which one that one is trying to, if we go back to the first again, I don't know what the raging moon actually is, but it's given itself that role, and we have to be careful because there is actually there are some other fleets which we'll have a look at in just a minute. So that's the first. The second we've already had a look at. That's our invading fleet. The third is the third fleet is refueling. So the third fleet is coming back in, and that's going to be operating from the Altar system, where we actually have a Daot world, which is sort of just sitting there. This is again another attack fleet in through there. They do need to retrofit. If I go back to Nair, it's going to be a little bit too far away. But the Altar system is the one that we do need them to be raiding from, and they'll destroy all of the infrastructure out to here at this point in time. So I'll just allow them to keep on raiding. So that's been set to raid. That was the third. The fourth we've already had a look at. That's going to be coming back and doing the attack. The fifth is set up at Nair. So this has got no mission. It's going to be raiding targets at long range from the NAIR system, and we will actually tell it to go and retrofit at NAIR. So we'll just get it, whatever the retrofit is. I'm not sure what the requirement is for those retrofits, but we'll just go and do that one. The 6th is just a small defence fleet. This has got like just a small number of ships. These have all been designated. That's a heavy frigate. What's the role there? That's a version 2. Let's just go back to the 5th and have a look at the heavy frigates in through here. They're version 2s as well, so they don't need to upgrade. So I'm not sure what the upgrade is there. So the 6th is just back here at home. The 7th is back over here, and this is another defence fleet, just a smaller fleet, sitting in the Yaris system. We'll be able to move these forward once we actually clear out the fleets of the Dayots, which will come in fairly thick and fast. I need to make sure I've got 3 fleets within striking range, 3 big fleets in striking range of anything that does come through from the Dayots. That's the 7th. The 8th is another defensive fleet which has been set up in the home systems. I don't think I need to keep 2 of them there. They're mainly here just in case we need them from the Boscara. So I think what I'll do is I'll move them forward up to even back out to here, you know, but ultimately once that's been established. So let's just go and rechange this one across to Garrus as well. So I'm just going to go and with the 8th, I'm just going to go and set that as a home base. When you've got them going to automatic mode, that will now become the operating range of this defence fleet. That's too big, that circle, so let's just go and change that circle from 100 down to 50. That way it's just going to be, actually maybe, yeah, no, I'll keep it like that, because we'll end up using our attack fleets. So the 8th will then move off. The 9th we've already had a look at. They're just the big attack fleet sitting back on the in the west, and we also have the 10th fleet as well, which is a bombardment fleet. This is the one that we have been using, and this is operating from Roskiri's spaceport. But this is manually controlled, but this has actually got all of the bomber ships. So these are bomber frigates back in through here, and so these will be then used to destroy the homeworld of the Dayots. So we'll so with the 10th fleet, this is all of our fleets now. So they're going to essentially go off, and we do actually have. Do we have refuelers? No, we don't on this one. So I'm just going to go and tell it to go off and refuel at well, at either one of these, maybe even at Altar. Let's just go across the Altar system and just tell it to refuel at this world. Refuel at that location. So we're just manually controlling. So that Roskiri is our home world, which is way back over here. So we'll just get them ready for when we can clear out this stuff. That's sort of got everything done. Let's have a quick look at the war targets before we undo this. We go to the military tab. We go across to enemy targets. We do actually have dangerous locations as well, which we can sort of have a bit of a look at. Like Garrus is in the Garrus system currently visible. Q threat investigation and clearance of Garrus 3. So I can actually go and start to do clearing things out. Garrus 2, first attack force is investigating this particular one. This is a hostile ship. This is the one that it's going to do at Garrus 2. There's already the first attack force is the one at Garrus, capturing the Raging Moon, which will be a pirate ship. So that's at Garrus 2. There must be a pirate ship in here somewhere. There they are. Raging Moon, and was it the one we're going for? Yeah, we capture it's trying to capture this particular ship. So this is actually coming in from the Vicious Bandits, which is a Gizarian pirate raider group coming in. So we were just protecting that world against the pirates. So that explains what that one was doing. So that's the various threats that we ended up having. Garrus 1 as well. We've got we can see there that there's a mining station there, So this is sort of stuff that we're considering it a threat because it does have a military capability. The Persona asteroid fields has got vorticars in it, and that was a long time ago. Now I don't know where the Persona field actually is. That's in here, in Dayot territory. We do actually have another pirate group or pirate ship out there. So this is stuff that we've come across Natu. It's again, the pirates will hover around the independent worlds, and so there's not really much in terms of dangerous locations. But if we have a look at the enemy targets, then there's a whole lot of different stuff we can do through here. So let's just go across from all down to war targets all, and just see what we can actually then go and get. So these are the ones that they're actually highlighting. So there is actually a research centre. Where's that one? That's the one that we're going to be targeting right now, actually. So we've got a fleet going in to attack it, to destroy it. The Draco 2 mining station, we're going to sort of find the Draco systems we'll go for. Garrus has got a bit of a presence in through there as well. Then there's FN, which is also in the Garrus system. So a lot of these are just set up in the actual Garrus system itself. I'm just going to go and set all of these up as targets. So we're just going to go Q attack against these different mining stations. So while these are all highlighting in through here, this will then change over time as things develop. So let's just go and set up all of these Garrus locations to just be destroyed. That will then do us. Draco 2 mining station, Q attack. Yep. So no fleet with fuel and engagement range to attack this. But these are all within range. One thing we haven't seen yet is there was a fleet. If we have a look in the Epsilon's system, we're not seeing any fleets listed up through this other side, but there's a lot of mining stations in here. So ultimately we'll be wanting to take this. Now we do actually have in the home world of the Daoits, is that it there? This is Epsilon's 2. It doesn't have the little star next to it, so it's not the home world. Epsilon's 1, where is it? There's a lot of work to do in here. Gee, where the hell is it? See what the homeworld is of these guys. Where's it showing us? Oh, Epsilon's 2. So Epsilon's 2 is the actual is its homeworld. So that will be here. So this is Epsilon's 2, and so this ultimately is their actual. It is their homeworld in through there. You can see they've got like we actually have one of our ambassadors sitting back in through here, which is just allowing us to see what's around. And so this one's got 3 billion or 4 billion population, essentially. Actually, no, it's got 6 billion population. So it's going to take a little while to destroy or to really severely damage this planet. It does have a spaceport in through there. We can sort of see everything in this system pretty much. We're not seeing any actual attack fleets. Now that's a bit of a concern because we did see at the end of the last session a lot of ships moving off to like an invasion fleet, which I think is down in here. So we may have to sort of change one of these fleets. Once we get one of these other presences across the third fleet, I think we'll actually go hunting. The other thing that we have to be concerned with is the Daoits. The one big advantage the Daoits have is that their jump speed is very, very fast. So if we leave at the same time as them into hyperspace, they're going to arrive at a location before us. So we have to sort of, it's a little bit hard. We have to, this is why having the long range scanners is so important for us. Because if we see them coming into a location, we have to then be able to respond faster than what their jumps can be. We've been able to catch up a fair bit in that speed, but not dramatically. I don't think there's anything else we have to set up. Let's just go and wait for other opportunities. So let's just go and unpause the game. Frigate under attack. I'll just dismiss that message. Accept war mission. Defend important refueling station at Gizar 4. So this is actually outside of our territory. And again, we need to be able to see the fleets coming in, which we can do. We can actually use the first to defend that if there's anything that does come down this way. So we will actually do this one. So we'll accept this war mission. This is our first war mission. But we're just looking for collections of ships moving. Now see that collection there? That's a fleet that's moving off, but we don't have enough information other than the fact that this is actually these are Gizarian ships. Sorry, Daoit ships. But there's a lot of them, and so they're all moving back off to Maruhu. Now I'm pretty sure from memory that's actually an invasion fleet. Now we may be able to spot it as it gets inside the range of our scanners here. And I've queued up all those war missions now. So as it goes back up, I'm not going to rush forward just yet to do anything else in that sense. Here we go. Yes, this is the 16th Invasion Fleet, so it was the one. So we can see from here, when we identify the actual fleet, like that it actually is a fleet, we then get to see a lot more information about it. So in this instance, we've actually got like a couple of destroyers coming back through. We can have a quick look and see what their destroyers are. This is the Stavropol, which is using wave bombs. These are area effect bombs. The damage is 50. It's not like we've actually been bringing our ships close together, which may be a problem. Doesn't have it like, yeah, we should still be okay, I think, even with that. Epsilon torpedoes, blasters, just Corvidian shields. Nothing too much. They're not super fast. If we have a look at their speed, their sprint speed is only 63. Ours is more than double that. So our speed is very, very good. Their hyperspace speed is close to 600 though. So the reason they're not 600 is that they're slightly underpowered in terms of their energy. So their actual, they're just using a Nova core reactor, which they stole. So they stole the plans for that one. We're using them as well. I think we're using those now. And so, but it's just slightly under in terms of their hyperdrive. So they're not quite getting the 600. Let's read a few of the comments here, guys. Sorry, I've missed a few. So Pistol Team is saying, may I ask for a comparison with Stellaris? Yeah, sure. And I'll just go through that very briefly. And in fact, nearly every other, the comparison between this and Stellaris, actually I'll talk about that in just a second. And Boland's saying, does the Garrus system require additional calibrations? I'm not sure what you mean, Boland. Does the Garrus system require additional calibrations? I don't know if does Garrus mean something that I'm not aware of. Falcon's saying, yeah, to Pistol Team, he would say at the very least that Stellaris is more like a board game and that this game is more like a simulation, which I'll show you how that aspect does work. So for your Falcons, if you want to grab my attention, whether it be in Super Mew Kitty Cat, playing Dominion 6 while watching. No, you are not. You are sending me an email because you won the major prize and you didn't pick it up on DasTactic. And if you go and have a look at the end of DasTactic, you were the winner of the marble run and 3 great games. So you need to get in contact with me. So Super Mew Kitty Cat's there on. I'm glad I caught you because normally I have like a 2 or 3 day thing and then I sort of put it back in the pile, but I know that you do come in fairly often, so I was thinking, hopefully I'll catch you early this week, just so you can actually sort of pick up those games. So you were the winner on of the bundle of 3 games that we gave away. I forget exactly what those games were at the end, but anyway, you do need to contact me in whichever way you can, and then I can get those keys out to you. So, please let me know if you heard this message, just so I don't have to keep on trying to catch up with you. So anyway, I'll come back to that one in just a second. But yeah, I'm glad I caught you because I was thinking I thought I'd see you sometime this week. But yes, you are the big winner of the actual marble run on 2 days ago. All right, so so Boland's saying Garrison Mass Effect always runs calibrations on this. Oh, okay, no, I had no idea. Okay, so Pistol Team is saying I saw Distant Worlds Universe is very cheap. Maybe I should start with that and get the no. Don't even consider Distant Worlds Universe really in comparison to Distant Worlds 2. Distant Worlds 2 is quite different and so much better. Like it really is. It's like I think you will be disappointed in 2025 playing Distant Worlds Universe. It's one of those games that will actually there's no polish in it. It's a great game. It's a great game for when it came out, and like it's it was one of my favourite games when it was around. But Distant Worlds 2 is so much better. People will argue against that, but in essence, I'm thinking as a new player. Girth is saying it did not age like fine wine. Yes. No, it's sort of it's a game that was even harder to play in my opinion. There's a lot of automation in Distant Worlds 2 that wasn't really there in Distant Worlds 1. But anyway, the difference between this and Stellaris, and there's a lot of people who don't have very many people, and maybe because I played Distant Worlds more than Stellaris, but usually people come in with a bit of frustration from the way that Stellaris is played. But then I also get people commenting to say that this game is too difficult. So in this case, yeah. So Kat, I need you to let me know that you've actually received that message. Sorry, I'm still nothing coming back through from the chat over on YouTube there. So you're being saying I love Distant Worlds, but Distant Worlds 2 blows it away. It really does. It's I just read the word blows and I thought, oh, Distant Worlds 2 blows. I thought, oh no, that's not a good comment, but no, it does blow it out of the water. It's things, for example, like just little things like this ship here. We're looking at the inside of the destroyers that the Daewits have been building, and so they've been building these particular ships with different weaponry. We can see the weapons on the actual ship itself. Like these are the frontages of the actual weapons. As I go across each of these, you can see that they've got like a field of fire. This is actually this is different between Universe and Distant Worlds 2, and this actually has a lot of it makes the game more strategic when you actually are playing with your fleets. And so you can see through there that there's actually like as I hover over these, weapon 4 for example is a torpedo that fires backwards. So weapon number 1 is another torpedo which fires to the front with a 180-degree field of fire. But these are seeking weapons, so even if it fires backwards, when that fires, the torpedo will fire out this way, then sort of come back in to hunt down the enemy. There's a wave bomb back over here as well, which is this is a direct fire. So for that to use the wave bomb, it has to be facing anywhere from there through to there on the ship to be able to then hit that with the actual wave bomb itself. So this is our ship that we're actually just looking at that's travelling through space at the moment. So looking at what this one has got, I'm actually happy with my fleets. I'll be able to take these out no problem at all. If we have a look at the other ships in that fleet, if I just go and click on the fleet. So we've got 2 destroyers, then we've got a whole lot of small troop transports all the way through, and then a whole lot of frigates, like 4 frigates. But it's going to be these small troop transports, the ones with all of the... they've only got 6 armour on board. So they've actually picked up 6 armour. It's all that they've got on there. They'll be going back in to pick up more troops. So we will need to destroy this, but I'll probably destroy it as they come in to try to do an invasion. Now, if we do take the Draco system, that may be the target that they then use for that particular fleet. But no matter which way it goes, we should be able to destroy that fleet. So, getting back to the question, what's the difference between this and Stellaris? One thing is that this game is, as was sort of mentioned there by Falcons, that it basically the underlying aspect of this game is that this is a simulation, whereas Stellaris, Gal Civ, Interstellar Space Genesis, all those other games tend to play more like board games. So they've got more game mechanics in them, as if so there's more abstraction. So for example, in all of those games, you pull you get resources. There's not a lot of resources you have to go and collect in those games, and you then basically it goes into a global pool. You use that global pool to then build what you need to build, and so that's like most games. So that's sort of the way that they tend to be structured. In this game, because it's a simulation, every single little dot that we see is a ship running through space. The circular dots, these are all private sector, which we don't control. And so these are all coming from mining stations. And I'm going to go and pick on one of these, like if this one here, for example, will be a little freighter. And so this is actually a freighter which I don't have any control over. This is transporting cargo from Cantrilla 4 spaceport to Han 1 spaceport. So it's on its way through from Cantrilla across, maybe bouncing off the Coit system and into Han. If I go and click on that ship, I can then sort of see that it's got like so that's exactly what it's doing. It's moving from Cantriller, which is in one of my core systems, across to here. And I've got no control over what this one is doing. It's delivering a cargo of Aculon and Caslon. So it's actually taken that automatically from Cantriller. Cantriller is now sending that across to Han. Han must have like a shortage of those. If we go and have a look at the Han system itself and look at the actual planet. So the resources have to be at the location to be able to be used. If I don't have fuel at this location, I can't then refuel the fleet that's here. So if I'm trying to do it from the planet. When I go to the actual planet, you can see that we've only just taken over this world. When we have a look at it, we've actually got resource shortages here of 23. And if I go and click on those, it'll then keep this one open. So I can look at all the different resources. Fuel, we have slightly less fuel than what we've got, a fair bit, like we've got nearly 12,000 and we need 12,500 is what the AI, we don't control that. The AI, or we can, but the AI is letting the AI do that. So it's actually maintaining its different stock levels. 18 tonnes of that 11,000 tonnes has been reserved for, there must be a ship that wants to pick up fuel and refuel from the spaceport. So that's sort of what the reserved is. The other, well, this will be possibly Boscaran traders coming in to pick up fuel and buy the fuel from us, which if you sort of saw the start of this, there was actually there was essentially I did a bit of summary as to why the Boscarans have to buy things off us, and they're actually, so somebody else is wanting to buy a lot of fuel from this location, so that's been reserved. So these are essentially the reserves. You can see there's the Aculon. Now all of these, you can see that we've got fuel resources, construction resources. These are all the different construction resources, and so every single one of those that are required, if we need to build something at the spaceport, or even just do a retrofit, we need to have the correct construction resources. And at the moment, we're under in Hexadorum, only just, and we're under a fair way in Aculon. So there's going to be more Aculon coming through. And we can see again that there's actually there's amounts that are reserved in different locations. These will possibly be because they'll be wanting to build different ships as well, maybe other freighters or something like that. So it's not something we have to really concern ourselves with. But that's so they're bringing all those different resources in. So every single, when we go back to the ships again, if we have a look at, for example, one of our ships, this is our fleet that's actually sitting back into here. If we look at one of our destroyers and just see how this one sort of operates. And if you saw the last one, it had a speed of 63. Ours travel at 151, and we're nearly there with the hyperspeed now at 552. So we're using a different hyperdrive than what the others are using. We are using we are using the same Nova core. But you can see there that in our case, the Nova core is enough for the hyperdrive to be able to then operate. So all of these little things, when you design a ship, and you don't have to design the ships, but I like to do that one. When we design a ship, we end up with being able to sort of, we have to sort of try to cover the energy. We have to cover, look at the movement. How fast is it? How's it going to work with other ships? Things like that. So there's a lot more direct control that you can have in the game. You don't have to. You can let the AI look after that for you, but I enjoy that. You can see through here, when we looked at the Dayut destroyer, it had a lot more firepower on it than what our ship has got. So we've just got like an area at the front there, which has got like it faces the front. We've got one at the back, which faces the back, and then a couple off on the port and starboard side. And that's it for our destroyer. So our destroyer has got like a lot less in terms of combat capability than the Dayut ships. So we rely on things like our sprint speeds. We have to then start to make use of the sprint speeds. We've got less shielding and armor than what theirs has got as well. So less weaponry, less shielding and armor, but we've got speed. And so speed is our big advantage that we end up having. And in this case, we also have more general slots on our ships. So our ships aren't great. Our destroyers are, to be honest, are not the best. So that's why we're going to be trying to get cruisers next. In this case, we've actually got these pulse cannons. We've got one at the front, we've got one at the back. So these, if we can sort of go and sort of broadside ships, we can then use both of these. These are direct fire, which means that they have to be aimed. But as we sort of come through with these ships, it's a bit of a waste having one at the back there like that. So we're a bit spread out. So that, again, not a great design of the actual ship itself, but every single component. If I have a look at a pulse wave cannon, you'll see there that this one requires 24 Necros stone to build that component. The Sentinel multi-beam requires 3 krypton. The iron cannon requires 6 caprica and 3 amethyst crystals. Everything requires, like steel and polymer for splinter pods. Damage control unit is steel, carbonite and polymer. Command system is steel, polymer and silicon. So all of these different resources are required to build one ship. And so when we have a look at the actual ships through here, we end up with getting the resources required to build this one: 162 polymer, 159 steel, Aculon, Necros stone. And so if we don't have access to one of these resources at a location, we can't build the ship. So it's extremely detailed in the way that the simulation works in the game. So these are not in a global pool. The only global thing we have is money. So cash is the only global resource. All the other resources have to be at the location we want to use them. And the reason this becomes so important is that when we look at this war that we're going to be doing, I've got so many options as to how I then pursue this war and how I then prosecute the war. And so for me, Distant Worlds is brilliant because of this simulation aspect, because I now in my head do I bombard the planet and try to take over all of their supply so that they have to buy it off me, which is the strategy we're going to be taking with them essentially. So we're going to try to weaken them. We're going to try to make it so they have to buy from us, which is what we did with the Boscara. But I could actually go through with invasion fleets and go and land on their planets. Initially, I'm going to have to defend a little bit, so we'll need to go and defend. But we will ultimately come into the Draco system and try to take that over before they can do too much. For all we know, they've got another presence back out through here. They may have even more ships that we're not really aware of. So the simulation side is really, like, it changes the game dramatically. Just the fact that you need to have things at the different locations. But again, the game you can automate any aspect of the game as well. Like you can actually play the game where you don't do anything at all. And in fact, we started off the game by this particular one, and we've been playing this for a fair few weeks now. But we started the game off by leaving the AI to just play the game at high speed with us doing absolutely nothing. And the one rule we had was either we're going to take over after 20 years of the AI playing, or when a war starts. And so after 10 years of it being automatic, the Daoits did actually declare war on us. I think it was the Daoits that declared war at that stage. And so we took over at that point, and so we've been sort of slowly taken back. But the automation in the game is dramatic. If I go into here and then go into the policies, this policy is where the automation actually, you can set fully automated back through here. Most things I've got set down to suggest, which is what they will then do is they'll come through and say, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? So this is all of the, not even all of it, but this is a lot of the automation systems in the actual game itself. Things that I like to control, I like to control the crash research. The research itself is automated, but I can override it, so I've been overriding as required. I don't like the gifts, so I've turned that to manual. I can change this at any time. All the fleet stuff is stuff that I end up doing manually. And so, again, you don't have to. If you don't like that aspect, just leave it on automatic and the AI will do that for you. There's a lot of stuff. And then so that's just in general policies. Automation through here, automation through colonization, tax rates, the whole lot. There's just it looks overwhelming, but this is actually the secret to enjoyment of the game to a large extent is figuring out what you don't want to control and just control the bits you do. So I personally like to control the shipbuilding, the ship designs, and the combat. I don't really care about the other bits. So I've got most of the planetary management is all on automation. I'm not going to worry about that. They can just look after that themselves. But I will step in when I want to actually impact something. So that's sort of the way that then does work. Thor Nellerman saying, how would you recommend the latest DLC? I think it's very good. Again, we're playing as a Wekra, so they actually add a lot. The Artooks are also very, very different to play. They're quite good fun. Anyway, let's keep on going through here. So Pista team is saying, can you terraform planets to a degree? If we go into the, this is the, where is it? This is our research tree. So the way that this one works, and you've got like the research is sort of designated into weapons at the top. And so we've actually been able to get like our next tier of weapons. If I go to this one through here, it's going to take me 12 years to research my next lot of pulse cannons. So this is unique to the Wekaris that we're playing as. We do actually have things like massive energy beams, which we could now sort of go and do. These are Mark IIs for the actual planetary beams, so we can actually have things on the planet itself. Anyway, I won't go through, but that's the... So we've got weapons, we've then got troops down through here. So beyond weapons, we then actually have different sorts of troops we can then sort of go and research. We've then got reactors for the next bit. This is the Nova Core reactor, which we stole from the Boscara, who had stolen it from the Quamino, this is a unique Quamino reactor, but everyone's now using that one because everyone's stolen it. So we have to try to protect what we've got. So that's it. So that then we've got shields. So then we've got point deflectors, for example, more shielding back in through there. Hyperspace tech. As we sort of come back through the actual tech tree, and it goes, we've got it turned off, so we're only seeing the next level, and we've got it also randomized a little bit. These are the ships, so we're actually trying to now pick up these ships and I don't know what the light cruiser will be like. I can't remember what that one looks like, but that should make us a lot more powerful. So as we just keep on coming back through the tree through here, this is now the colonization. And so you can see through here, we've got things, for example, like basic exploration scanners, basic colonization back and through here. And then we actually have things like with improved colonization. If I go and get that tech through there, we can terraform. Now, the terraforming doesn't change the class of the planet. All it does is makes it more suitable for colonization or for having your people there. So you can see there the quality improvement amount is only 3%. If I get that particular one through there, it's going to take, if I can do that one, it's going to be 3 years for me to do that one. But this one can, if I go and grab this one, can only build when population and colonization has suitability of -10 or higher, including damage. So I can push this one up. What we want to do, the goal of the game is to find worlds that have got suitability over 20 or plus 20, which actually then makes it so we don't have to pay as much to sort of give them special equipment to survive on the planet. So when the colony has, it says here, when the colony has low suitability less than plus 20, the quality improvement amount is dependent on the presence of the terraforming facility. If it is removed, the quality improvement amount will be lost. So we need to keep it going the whole time. And this is going to cost me 7,500 per year. So we have to be careful. Like this is a costly facility to actually have on the actual planet itself. So damage. It also can repair damage. So damage is something that will come back up to full, like after a planet has been bombed. Then we actually have actual colonization, where we end up with another thing where we end up with getting another suitability modifier for us, essentially, to be able to then colonize different worlds. So we can sort of structure things through changing us, the way that we approach things, or changing the planet. So that's sort of where that is. But it's not, we can't terraform a barren world into a forest world or anything like that. So that's sort of where that one actually is. So terraforming is not dramatic. It's not like you start off. It's not like in that Star Trek movie, like where they just throw it on a planet and it becomes a forest world, or whatever it was, from that really old movie. So, but all we can do is really, there's so many different classes of planets. Like there's a desert planets, marsh planets, water planets. We're an aquatic faction, so we like the water planets. But these sorts of things, I don't tend to focus usually much on these because, I tend to be able to sort of do okay with just what I find, but you can actually go and grab these. But this is an expensive one. This will then lead on to something else once this has been done. There'll possibly be another version of that then comes in. And different factions have got like different ways of doing this as well. Like there's, I forget which faction it is, maybe even be the Gizarians, that end up with a different tech tree for colonization, where they actually have other benefits of being able to do it. And Pista seems saying, also are there machine races and machine-related logics? Not really, not like in Stellaris or Gal Civ, in the sense that you don't actually have mechanized troops. Sorry, you don't have mechanized factions, which I think the game would actually benefit by having that in the game, but it may be just too wildly different. But you do have robotic troops which you can actually go and bring in, which are quite cheap. So you can actually have like robots fighting for you. So it's a bit more like as if it was Star Wars, like where you don't see robotic factions in Star Wars, but you do see robots helping out. So that's essentially the way the game sort of works. A bit more like Star Wars than Stellaris or any of those sort of games where you can actually have like mechanized forces. Stellaris and Gal Civ have got much more customization in the factions, whereas the factions in this one are very defined because of the texts that have to then sort of work. We wouldn't be able to make. This game doesn't have the capability, and just because of the complexity of the simulation, they couldn't make one that has got the degree of breadth in terms of character or faction customization that those other games have got. The other games, as I said, they use game mechanics to define the way the game works. This one uses more simulation mechanics, and so with a game mechanics game, you can game that. And we'll be playing probably next week. I think next week or the week after, I'll be switching across to Gal Civ. And when we start playing Gal Civ, the difference there with the faction generation, they can build. I forget what the combination is. It's it's just astounding what Gal Civ has got. I think it's like 40 times 40 in terms of 1,600 different sort of combos you can actually have. Basic combos you can have with generating factions in Gal Civ. In this game, you choose the faction you want to play and then work within that. You still have other variants that do come in, that do kick in, but you're managing a predefined group, and there's no other way they could do that in this particular game. So the research is fairly deep with what actually does go on. You then actually have diplomacies and stuff like that in through here as well, which I won't be really. I'm not. No one likes us, so we're not really going to be doing diplomacy. So, and even things like, for example, colonizing worlds. You can see there our money situation is not great. We like in terms of cash flow, we're still actually making money, but in this case, every planet that you get, like if I go into Han, the Han world was just taken over. And so if we have a look at Han, this one's costing me 11,000 support costs. So this is costing a fortune because we took this planet over. So like I'm making money in other ways, but the vast majority of the money that we're losing is from this particular world. And this is where the complexity of, again, the simulation kicks in. And so in this case, like we've got revenue and tax income is 7,000, but the actual overall support costs are 11,500, and so we're actually making this one here. The following factors increase colony support costs: so population less than 100 million, suitability of population less than 20. At the moment, we're actually got good. The quality is good. The suitability should be good for the factions we actually have through here. Unassimilated population. We invaded this world and took it over very recently, and so population above 50% of the maximum. So if we have a look at the actual planet itself, if I go and show the details of this particular colony, we'll sort of see there that we've got like a few different factions that are actually living on the world. We've got 32 million Gizarians, and they're 20% assimilated, so they're slowly assimilating. The Ikaru are 23% assimilated for 32 million, but the vast majority of here are Gizarians, and they're extremely resistant to being assimilated. They're only 4%. So until they become assimilated, this planet is just going to cost us a lot. So there's no real benefit in actually promoting, trying to get the lots and lots of planets, because you end up paying through the nose. So you've got to be careful with your expansion. So we will be going and getting that other world with the Artuks. They will actually assimilate fairly quickly. So once they assimilate across, then that will be then we'll start to sort of make money. But you can see through here we're losing money through corruption. We're looking to support costs are just through the roof on this particular planet. So we're actually losing overall quite a bit. This is quite complex, the way that the planets actually do work. But this one, in this case, we're actually losing money there. Our home world is the one that will actually be making money. So if we have a look at Roskiri, which is this one here, this is our home world, and we have a look at it makes 32,000 for us, for example. We still have to pay support costs of nearly 3,000, but we are actually generating 32,000 here through the taxation. So we're taxing these at 39. Again, the AI is doing this. I'm not doing any of this. We have all these different ambassadors and stuff that are all sort of floating around on this particular world. We've got a lot of prisoners that we've actually captured as well. So got a whole lot of different planetary facilities that we've actually sort of built on this planet. So there's the planetary aspect of it is it's as I said before, the simulation side really does change it from it's so different to anything else. It's extremely different to anything like Stellaris. Anyway, let's continue on. Let's let these, and there's no constraints as to where you can go. It really is just a limit from your fuel on your ships. These are not space lanes, by the way. These are just here visually, just to show you connection between planets. Dismiss that one. Okay, we've now got planetary shields. Now we've stolen this. So one of our agents, we've got a Tekin agent, which our agent Woodry Tazaran has evaded detection after successfully carrying out the mission to steal research information on planetary shields from the Boscara over Mind Ascendancy. So the Boscara had planetary shields. We've now stolen that from them, and so we steal that sort of slowly over time, which means that we've now picked up this one through here if we do want it. I don't think I'll worry about it too much just yet, but because this again just cost us money, and until we really get on top of the money, I don't want to be putting these sorts of things into the onto the actual planets. So, but we did pick that one up, so that's actually good. I can just right-click to get rid of those messages. We're still at 65% in here to try to pick up faster mining. Okay, so the Dark Dagger mercenaries eliminated by so the Gizarians have now destroyed a pirate faction of Tekans as well. You can see we're making money. Even though we're going backwards with cash flow, we're actually making money. And a lot of it's going to be because these guys are doing stuff. There's a Boscaran fleet coming through. Now this is a strike force moving into Lambre 1, so this is actually moving across to, I'm not sure where Lambre 1 is. But we don't have to worry about this. We're not at war with them. Quiminos have declared war on the Gizarians. Wow, that's actually not good. Accept trade. So they want to reveal an independent colony. I'm going to decline that. I just want to keep on hold of my money. There goes that fleet. We're now losing sight of it as it goes outside of our long-range scanners. Foreign admiral recovered while salvage. So this will be a pirate captain, Admiral Jatari Ozaniri. So that's actually if we go and have a look at this one. So this one, we're just picking up the debris. So what's this ship in through here? This is a transport ship, and it does now. And this one's just going around and picking up loot that's sort of found from where other combat was. So there was actually must have been the pirate ship had an admiral on board. I'm assuming. Yeah, it says commanding the Bold Odyssey, which is he's not commanding it, but that's this one here doesn't have great skills. So actually that one there, actually maybe it looks like he's actually come on board with us. Have a look at the characters. Yeah, I think we've actually rescued him, so he's actually now joined us. We have a look at the characters. If we have a look at the admirals, yeah, he's come on board as an admiral. I'll leave him on automation. I don't really need him anywhere in particular. So he'll give like different bonuses to like targeting for the fleet that he gets assigned to. We've only got two other. I've got 7 von Schweinhund. So this one is now a new one that's come through. You can see there the other two admirals are much more. They've got much better skill sets than this new one. This new one will pick up the skills over time as it starts to do different things. So we've got this one's commanding the 4th, and this one's commanding the 3rd. I might switch this one across from being automated. So at the moment the AI is looking after him, but if I go and change that to manually controlled, I can then just go and tell him where to go. I'm going to put him on the 1st attack force, and so we'll just transfer to that location. He then will start to transfer across to the flagship, which is the Rosagiri Subjugator, is the name of the ship, on the 1st attack force, and he's going to get there in... that date there doesn't look right, but anyway, that's what he's going to be doing. So we'll just wait and see what actually happens to that one. That was in the past. So he's on board that ship, but he will then get transferred across to the 1st. And the 1st is now moving out into this location as well. Foreign, yes, we've got that one through there. We'll dismiss that one. So we did pick him, we've rescued that one. Now we do actually also have, if we go back into characters, we do actually have prisoners. So these are all different generals, spies, scientists that we've picked up, admirals. You can see there's a whole range. A lot of these are going to be the Boscaran, different groups. There's another scientist back in through there. I can actually try to pay these to come and join our side, but I'm not going to be worrying about these so much. So we've just got a whole heap of them. We've been capturing a lot of spies. We're very good at doing that. Our particular group, and the Daleks are very good at spying, which is why we'll sort of see enemy tech on a lot of their ships. So it's wandering off this way. So it's sort of must be heading out this way. I can't really pick it as if it's going that side. I'll just... Is that coming in this way? We're losing sight of it. Oh, it's moving into there, so it's going to actually bounce off that system to one of the other ones. We'll lose sight of that. These are now unknown. There we go. We've lost sight of that whole fleet. Now this one, the 1st attack is going into retrofit back over here at the Altar system. Now if we see, this is where we have to be a little bit more vigilant. We actually have Destroyer is under attack. Oh, this one here is not part of any fleet. This is a fleet destroyer that we captured from the pirates. So that's just been captured. So I'm going to go and I'm just going to attach this. So I'm just going to go and join this one to a fleet. I'll join this one to the 1st. So it will then just become part of the other one. At the moment, it's just a sort of a bit of a rogue ship. So these fleets are all now sort of moving back across into their different locations. Quite often you can sort of see where some of these pirate ships are going to be friendly. Okay, this one is still a territory map of the Ardil military junta. The Ardils are down through here. These are reptilians. Down through this other side, so we're just picking up information about them. Fast mining has now just been completed, so we've just picked up that one through there. The next one we're going for is the multi-role starships, the light cruisers. It's going to take me 5 years to get this. I'm going to go and I think I might buy this one straight up, like not buy the tech, but I can buy what's called a crash research. Actually, where is that? That's the techs. I'll just go down into the starships. If I go and click on that one through there, if I go and crash the research, which will then halve the cost, it's going to cost me 240,000, which is going to be half the money that I've got. But I think I'm going to do this because these cruisers are going to be vital, I think, later on. Yeah, I'll pay the cost. This has now gone into a little crash research, which means that it's now going to that's now going to come in half the time, so 2.5 years, and then we can start to supplement our fleets with those as well. Boscara Overmind has invaded and taken over the Forest Moon Motus 1. Okay, so the Boscara Overmind is where did that one occur? There. So this has now been taken over by one of the Boscara factions. There's another Boscara faction in through here as well. Yeah, so there's a lot. The wars in here have been quite dramatic. There's been a lot going on. We've sort of been lucky we're on the periphery, so we haven't had to really worry too much about it. Got hive swarms. This is sort of like a mid to late game crisis. There's a group of hive ships in here, for example, which if these get triggered, actually that's not so much them, but these here. We've then got the once. Oh, hang on, that's research. The Ardeals have actually made their way into here. There was a whole lot of hive ships in here, which is a problem. That's a Gizarian ship moving its way in. So the hive ships that were there have actually may have moved off. Have to be careful of that, because they've been triggered. Destroy enemy refueling. This is at the Kujos 3 mining station. If I just go and hover back out, I can decide not to take these, but I'm thinking that's definitely going to be something we want. So I'll accept that one through there. And that will then become another war target for us. And now that we've let the game run forward a little bit, what I can do is actually go and go back to my military tabs and go back to the war targets. See, there's a lot more in here than what we had. We've got different, like, research centres are being attacked by the 4th. The 5th force is going to be attacking, again, these different mining stations. They've all been queued up. We've now got a fair few more that have now come back through. So we've got like a big, long list of targets. This is the war targets of everything that we can sort of see that we're aware of. So we can now start to flesh these out now, and finesse these just through automation, if we can. If we go across to, I can sort these out either by like colonies. So these are the actual colonies that we can then target. Not that we're going to do that one, but so we're not going to worry about targets just yet. And again, I can say, all right, what we're going to be doing when we have automation, I can queue clear defences at this particular location. We can queue bombardment at Tran Mariel. Now Tran Mariel is over here, which is sort of the interesting thing here is these are actually Wekerists like us, and so I could take that world, but there's no real strategic benefit for me to do it, even though the Daot's control it. So I can bombard different planets. Some of these are going to be too far away. Fleet engagement range is too far out to bombard at Draco. We'll end up sort of conquering the Draco system, but you can sort of see that there are actually a few of those moons that are in through here. Again, I'll be able to just manually, I don't have to do this one through automation. That's colonies, we've got bases, fleets. Fleets, we're not seeing anything just yet. That fleet has now disappeared. It's off our radar, so we're not aware of it. The bases that we've got, and again, we've got the different research stations, so we're going to be destroying this one as we sort of come back through. We've got the research station through there. We've got the mining station. These are all different mining stations. There may be other research, and I do sort of want to clear out anything that does say research. It's all mining stations back down through here. There's a resort base. Again, resort bases will allow me to put a long-range scanner in. Mining stations, lots and lots of mining stations in through here. And again, I can queue up different either attacks, captures, raids, or blockade. So we can do all sorts of different things with our ships, or just mining stations. Not seeing any other research stations. There's another resort base. Resort base. These are all resort bases, I think. Oh, there's another research station, which is back over through here. I can see what these have got. Like if I go and click on them, like this one gives plus 90% hyperdrive research bonuses. Yeah, there's a lot to look at there with the different bases. If I just go, I'll just go back to all again, and we have a bit of a hit list in through there. And again, if it's certainly the ones that are inside our territory. That Kujos one though is one that we do want to pick up. I'm not sure if it's going to show. I will put it in the list of targets for our fleets that are operating manually. What was it again? It was. Oh, hang on. That one's been detected. That's okay. Just get rid of that one. What was it? That was destroy enemy refueling station. This is Kujos 3. So I can just find it through here. I'll just go back to bases again. And we're doing it by priority, but I can do it by name. So we can just go down to the Ks. QJOS 3. And again, I can do it manually. This QJOS 3, I've just set that one up for being destroyed. So that's now been just been given a Q mission. So anything that's any raiding fleet that's in range, will then sort of put this one into its list of targets. So that's sort of where we are there. Just going to get rid of that. 100th Monkey is saying, wouldn't it be nice to have more filters for enemy targets? Yes, it would. It would indeed. Yes, absolutely. Now we can sort of do that a little bit through another tab, but that there is still not quite. The game is improving all the time with its user interface. Actually, that's one thing I should point out. If you play Gal Civ or Stellaris, you'll find that the user experience and the user interface is superior to Distant Worlds. For me, the gameplay is superior from Distant Worlds, but the enjoyment through the interface is better in those other two games. So that's another point about the difference between them. They are improving the user experience in Distant Worlds, but it's it's a very, very small development team that work on it. Now, what have we got there? What have we got ships in through there? It's the first attack force. These are actually part of the first attack. I don't know why they're moving off to destroy different things. I'm not going to. I'll decline that. I don't really care about having friends. So Tenor is saying, I made a mistake when I ended the war with an enemy faction. I forgot to demand all the stations of the conquered territory. Yeah. Now, Cat still has not, Super Mew Kitty Cat, if you are listening, please let me know, because I do actually have those games that you won 2 days ago, that you weren't around for the actual, to claim them at the end of the day. I'll keep them for a few more days and keep on whenever you do bounce in. I'll try to catch you, but if you are listening, please get in contact. I saw that you were there on YouTube. Okay, so anyway, these fleets are now moving back in. The fifth is essentially, this is a raiding fleet from. So the fifth is now attacking mining stations, setting up from Nair. Now Nair is probably too far away. Like there's not really a hell of a lot going on at Nair. I just need to keep a presence. But these will do any raiding from that location. These guys will then go across and do it. Mining station there. Dismiss that. In we go to do the attack on this research station. So this is the fourth coming in. They've got some small ships. To show what's going on here, this is actually an old research station. So I think it is. I don't think it's one of theirs. Actually, maybe it is. So this is actually and again, the research station itself will actually have. This one's got a medium starfighter bay, and so it's got some small fighter craft. It's only got a railgun, lance missiles, and interceptor missiles. So it's fairly small for what it does do. If we just go and exit, but these are the small craft. What we can do is actually just have a look. If I go Shift B, I can then look at it from the bridge. We're now looking at it from the bridge of this ship. And so they're just going to be doing their own thing. So we're targeting it. I think we may have just destroyed it. Yeah, so our ships are now sort of moving forward again. I'll just go and press that one there, press tab just so we can sort of get down. So we've destroyed that one very, very quickly. I'm just going to go back into here and just queue up now this is a large mining station. Is that a resort base? Was there why was that a location that they were interested in? There's nothing there. All right, well that's a waste. I don't know what that research station was doing there, but it's gone. So the fourth will now move back into the Draco system, and now start to attack the different areas that we actually have in through here. So we do actually have over here, this one is not colonized. There is a mining station and a resort base. So let's just go in and attack this one with the 4th. So we'll send the 4th in to attack that. The 2nd I'm going to bring across to sit here at the QA. This is just inside their jump range. So we'll just go and tell them to go and sit in around this particular location. Move to that sun. Here we go. So we're now seeing, this is the invasion fleet. So they're now coming back in. They've now got 7 armor. And so they are moving in, and we should actually have a message about this. So new mining station completed back and through there. Then we have incoming fleet detected. So the 16th invasion fleet, an enemy fleet of the Day Surveillance Oligarchy has been detected travelling on an attack vector towards Israelis 4. So that's their target. They don't have long-range scanners. They don't know what we've got in this area. So they've got no idea. They don't realise that we've actually now got so much ships in through here, bombardments. We've got everything in here, really. And so actually Boscara, Devouring Mass has declared war on the Ardils as well. But in this case, so they're moving through. We know that their destroyers are slightly slow, but they're actually moving in with 7 armour. And so we're going to meet up with those ships. So what I can do is I can just go in. Now we've got a small fleet there, and it's in reality, because there's so many transports, that would be fine to actually go through. The first is moving back out to the Garrus. Let's just move through the fleets again. So we've got the first, the second is not part of these. The third is operating from, it's going to be raiding targets in through that, from that location. The third is my main sort of fleet that I have been using. The 4th we've got elsewhere. The 5th is moving out from Nair. I'm sort of inclined to move that across to the Altar system as well. So I might move the 5th and make that the home base for the for that one. That way it'll sort of operate from that location. The 6th is just a defence fleet. The 7th is defence. The 8th is defence. The 9th is on the other side of everything. So I think the 3rd is actually the one that we want to go back in and actually then use this one. So we'll grab the 3rd fleet. It's supposed to be raiding targets. There's no mission at this stage that it's got. So let's go and send it across to defend this world. And so this is the world that's Zrelis 4 is the one that we've actually got. Now we don't actually have a spaceport here. So these are just Wekaruses that are sort of slowly building up. We also don't have, I should be building things, for example, like, we can build defensive caverns if we needed to, but we don't need to do that one just yet. The planetary administration complexes, I need to be building these on planets that have got more than about 300 million. And so in this case, we've got like 4 standard troops, but if they invade with armor, that's not going to really sort of work. So that's fine where that is. And we also do need to, on this world, build a spaceport. So if we just go back through, we've got different sort of spaceports in through here. If I just go and, this will be the direction that I want to go. I'm just going to build a small spaceport through here. I can build a resort base here as well by the looks. Anyway, we've just built a spaceport there. So it's going to, you can see there's still got some shortages in through there as well. A lot of those will be just luxury goods, but that's what's going to be coming through. We'll just get the 3rd fleet and move the 3rd fleet down to sit right here and just be. So we're now manually controlling this particular fleet by giving it a movement order like this, and we'll just watch as these come through. That's the only fleet that we've seen. Okay, the Boscara Devouring Mass have assigned a war spawn, General Benta Prakari, to lead their recent declared war. They're on a warpath against their enemies. Who will they strike next? When the Boscara, this is unique to the Boscara, when they do actually have a war spawn character, they become pariahs essentially. Now I've got the Great Direction. This is actually the Artooks. This is not to do with us. That one's not to do with us, but it's going to impact like their. This is the Boscara Devouring Mass there, I think. So it's this group have got a war spawn to try to take on the reptilians. In fact, they've now taken control of this region of space. So they're actually they're getting stronger again. Just dismiss that message. And we've got long range scanners all the way through here. So we're definitely going to be seeing everything that's going on. So we just get there ahead of them and destroy them as they come in. Conrad Danborough saying, I could never make sense of this game. I never found where to start. I think that's the... with most games, you actually have got to try to rush different things. This is actually a very relaxing game. It's like it's not about rushing. It's just about watching. It's almost like watching a movie where you step in to affect little things like this. It's actually not a detected feeling. Okay, so this is the art against the Ardils. It's just different spy missions. But it's actually not a. It can't be. You can literally just watch it like a fishbowl, like if you wanted to. Like it's actually escort. Yep, that's okay. We're going after the mining stations. Hive swarms has been discovered around the place. Now we're attacking the Draco system now. One of our spies has been dismissed through incompetence. What's that? That's the 7th, moving off to Yarra Station. So the 7th was designated to defend this region, but with having the 1st in here, or the 3rd, there's no real need for them to do that. So they've decided to go back, but they automatically moved across into the Zrelis system to protect that. Again, I didn't do that myself. Draco, how are we going in here? They've now wiped that one out. I'll just get the 4th and just keep on telling them to wipe these different things out. Attack that palace, and we'll end up starting to... I can't build anything there until we actually get rid of all that presence at that location. And I'll go through this in some detail. These are now going off. This is a 5th is going off. Again, this is inside the raiding area. We gave it that order to go and kill the Kugelos station. They're going off to do that run right now. So accept war mission to... this one wants us to go and get accelerated projectiles. So I might as well do that one. Get a higher war score there. Accept that mission. We've actually got high war weariness, which is not good. We are winning a little bit. We've destroyed 8 bases already, just in terms of the generally what we're doing. We will ultimately be able to get on top of this, but we don't want the war weariness to go crazy. We definitely want to take the Draco system before we sort of... we may not be able to do too much of what we want to do with the war because of the war weariness. So they're coming into the Zrelis system. They'll bounce in fairly soon, and you see how they move quickly through space. This is their secret power, their superpower. But we're up there now with them. Matt saying, always hated the incompetence mechanic. Had some real banger spies randomly fired. It's not random. Like they tend to be poor. Quite often they'll be double agents or something like this. So here we go. We've got this invasion fleet coming in. I'll pause time and we'll go through it sort of like half speed, just to sort of go through the combat as this one comes into the system. So they're all arriving to do the attack. So this is now it. Let's just go in. We've set ours up sitting right in through here. So this fleet, as it comes in, is going to be trying to land onto Zrelis 4. And as we saw there, we've got 4 troops already just maintaining order on the actual on the planet itself. We're trying to build the spaceport, and we're also trying to build the administration center. But these are still under construction. Our ships move incredibly fast through space. So the fleet that we actually have, if we go back to the 3rd fleet, so these have got a lot of the named ships. So if we played DasTactic, if people are watching that have got named ships in through here, like Ponicus, Kujagrim, Zaradin, a few of them that are named in this particular Unsquirrel, Bjolf. So there's a few named ships in this particular fleet. If those ships get destroyed, those people get banned. But in this case, coming back through, what we want to do is we want to stop these ships from invading with their armored troops, which will actually have a big advantage in this invasion. So we've got things, for example, like this here is a frigate. I'm not going to worry about the frigates. This one's the Cruel Downfall, and you can see there it's beelining for the planet. It's trying to move to Yaris. Sorry, it's now moving to Yaris. I want to move to Yaris. Yeah, that's okay. So as we come back through, but this one's got two of the Octomech brigades, which are two of the armored brigades of the Dayuts, and there'll be other ones as well. That's got two as well. That's a frigate, and through there again as well. That one's got nothing on board. Nothing on board there. Nothing on board there. These are just going to be frigates. That one's another one. So these are both these are furthest out in front with their with what they actually have. It's interesting. There's two ships under there. That's why we're sort of seeing those slipping through each other. Just trying to pick the other one, the other ship. That one doesn't have anything. It's a destroyer. And so we've got, so it's really going to be these first ones. Now, I'll play this at half speed. So we'll just go into half speed and have a bit of a look to see what's happening through here. These here are torpedoes being fired from, I'll just let it go forward a little bit so we can separate those two ships. There's no collisions as such in the game. But this is the destroyer. So the destroyer is firing torpedoes. And if we have a look at the actual at the layout through here, again we're seeing the with its weaponry. So the two Epsilon torpedoes, they're the two yellow ones that we see. So if they're firing from opposite sides, that side and that side, if we just go back and exit, we can see there that this is the one that was firing front ways. This one's firing backwards. In fact, there's two that have been fired from this one. If we just go back into that ship again, yeah, they're both mediums, which has got shots per volley 2, so there should be 4 already sort of heading out. Now these will then spin around and go in towards our ship. They're attacking this surprise of Roskiri, which is just a pulse escort. So with my ships, I need to not worry too much about the destroyers or the frigates. I need to go and take out the ones with the troops. So with the third, I'm just going to tell these guys to start off here and just go and attack the Cruel Downfall. Now that ship at the back through here, what is this one? This one's not part of any fleet. Attack the Liberator of Ursulinus. It's a fleet destroyer, so we've captured this one previously. What I'll do is I'll go and tell it to join the third fleet. So it will then just become part of this fleet. I might as well grab it while it's in here. And what's this one? That's also a fleet destroyer, not part of any fleet. Let's go and put that one in the third as well. Just go and add these. I don't like having ships that aren't part of fleets. If I go back into the ships, the individual ships, and go into ships not in a fleet, which is a fair few. Wow, we've got a lot. I don't know where I picked all these up from. Got no idea. Just different destroyers and things. Anyway, I'll let them just... They're just off wandering around doing their own thing. But they're working for us. Anyway, let's just go back into the third and... our ships are using pulse. Like these are the destroyers that we actually have are using the pulse wave cannons. We've got large pulse wave cannons. So from the front, that's the front of the ship. So that one there, and these do a lot of damage. And so they're firing out, but these are direct. These are targeted. So the destroyers are now firing at our ships. There's the 4 that we sort of saw there before. They're coming in, and so the pulse weapons are they're faster through space. One of them is missed, and so as we have a bit of a look at this one through here, see none of them have hit yet. That one's now just hitting the shield. So a few of them have actually hit the shield. In this case, these torpedoes will then start to hit against the Grand Banshee, which is one of our heavy escorts. This one, the heavy escorts have only got pulse wave cannons. They've got no point defense, so they've got no protection against these sorts of weapons coming in. The destroyers do actually have a point defense weapon there. So the sentinel beam comes off. It's only on the port side of the ship. So if it's not turned the other way, it's not going to be able to help to destroy these. But if I go and click on that one through there, this is now coming inside the range of that point defense. So it may be in the right angle, but I don't know if it is. These are now going to be hitting. These when they hit will have got they're not very good against shields, I don't think. They've all missed. So the countermeasure sort of worked in through there. As we sort of come back through, this one is now taking more damage to its shields. That's the outer ring, and that's the big one that we sort of see at the top through here. This is the internals on the actual ship as well. We can sort of see the damage. You can see these ships have got 2 engines, 2 weapons, 4 defences, 1 sensor, and 13 internal slots. As they either take damage or be destroyed or are disabled, that'll then start to sort of show for each ship. So each ship has got its own story, essentially, of what's just going on. Now that one there, so this is now moving in. That's attacking one of the other ships. Again, I'm ignoring the big destroyers and just going on the frigates. I'm just going straight after these. I want to get rid of the invading force first. Now they will take opportunity fire, so they are sort of hitting this one as well. Some of these have actually bled past the shielding and into the armor, which is that internal area through there. This one here, we're only hitting the shields. Let's keep it going. And the yellow beams are the point defense weapons, and we're sort of seeing again different. We've been able to sort of avoid a few of the attacks coming back in. That little explosion we saw there was a wave cannon. This was the from. I don't think these guys have got it. Yeah, they don't have it. It's from one of the destroyers. Actually, shot that particular one across. Their shields are now dropping dramatically. It's going to try to jump away. So we've still got destroyers now coming back through, frigates coming in this other side. These guys are still making their way through, haven't been targeted yet, but we want to destroy them. And so essentially the third fleet has been told to go after this particular ship. Some of the other ships will actually take on other targets as well when there's an opportunity. Particularly because the rear of these ships fire in the opposite direction. This thing is now almost completely destroyed. This thing can still jump. You can see down through there with the damaged and destroyed. In this instance, the ship is still trying to jump out of here, but it's down to 20% hull now. It's got all of its shielding is pretty much gone, except that somehow one of the shields is still actually working. So yeah, you can see their defences. 2 of them are normal and 2 of them are destroyed. Its 2 weapons have been destroyed. The sensors have been destroyed, and then the general slot, we're starting to now sort of do damage into there. If I go and actually click on that one to see what's going on, we can then hover over. The 2 armors have been destroyed completely. The shields are still operational, and so they're trying to re-shield, and you can see there the damage done to the actual ship itself. The short-range sensor array has been destroyed. We're starting to now get through into the hull, which means we're starting to now get into the internals of the ship. One of the engines is damaged at 66%, so it's actually now moving slowly. This one's damaged at 50%, so really its impulse is not really functioning. So it's going to be sort of stuck, not moving. But most of the stuff inside here is actually still operational. To stop it from jumping, we need to essentially either get rid of the power or get rid of the jump drive. And so when we have a look at what's going through here, the velocity drive in through here is a hyperdrive. And so we either need to damage that or we need to damage the Nova core reactor. So they're the 2 things that we need to be able to impact to stop it from jumping. So we'll just watch it. I don't think it can sort of get away. It's still jumping at this stage. There we go, it didn't make it. So we certainly sort of overwhelmed that one through there. We'll just go back to the third. If there's any of our ships that have got red on them, it means that they're damaged, like that one there is slightly damaged. Yep, so we can see down through this one here is the Surprise of Roskiri is trying to escape. So this actually automatically, I gave it instructions that if the shielding goes below 50% to jump away. And so that one, without me telling it what to do, it's now just jumping out of the system. I have to give this fleet orders, which means it's going to then override the fact that it's trying to escape. So I could actually try to just keep it doing what it's doing for a little bit longer and then come back in against the others. And again, we've got ships in through here with 2 more fleets. We've got, 2 more troops there, 2 more troops there. There should be a third one with 2 more troops. They don't have them. Should be another one. Because there was 8 in total, I think. If I just zoom out until I can start to see these symbols, I can go back to the 16th Invasion Fleet. We can see there it's got 5 armour. So there should be the 2s that we see plus another one as well. So there should be one of the transports should only have 1 on board. I'm not seeing it there. Alright, so I'm going to let this one jump because this one's the only one that's really in trouble. So we're going to be trying to move it away. So its shields are down. The armour is coming down. And when I hover over that one, you can see there that the defence is 2 damaged, nothing destroyed. Let's let it jump, and then we'll tell the fleet to start attacking the other ships. So it's just going to try to jump away. In the meantime, our ships will just find targets. That one's almost destroyed. It's trying to jump. That one's now far enough away that we don't have to worry about it. But if I give it an order, this one's also trying to escape. This one's taking a lot of damage. That little iron means that we've actually shot it with iron weaponry, which will then disable. And you'll see there one of the weapons has been in the blue column. It's under disabled. Has been taken out by an iron cannon. I think on our destroyers we have the iron cannons. Yeah, we've got the small iron cannons on there, which are a disabling weapon. And so in this case, this particular ship there, if we have a look and see what it's got, plasma blaster. That's it'll be re-enabled in 1 second, but that's been sort of just disabled for a short period of time. We also have ghost ships which are coming in to help us in this instance. But these are the ones we want to be destroying. So this one here is not jumping away just yet. That one's not really a concern. Where's the other one? It's this one here. This one's trying to escape. Yeah, so this one's trying to escape. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to stop that one. But let's just go back to the third again and just see if we can actually target this one. So we'll just attack the Sly Tyrant. That's going to then make this one turn around, even though it should be jumping away. Agent. He got away. So now we're left with the one of the other ships, which one was it? That one there. So third fleet, just tell it again to move across and take this one on. Attack the Supreme Terror, which has still got 2 more of the invading forces there. This is one of their frigates is trying to escape. I think most of them will now be trying to jump away if they can. So they don't have long-range scanners. They can't figure out where we actually are. These ships are trying to get away. Sometimes they can be disabled other ways. One's down to 1%. God, it's so close to being killed. Get away. What's this group? This is the 7th Defence Force has now swung back into action. The 7th is like you can see down through there, the 16th Invasion Fleet has taken a fair bit of damage with what they actually have. They've still got 3 armour somewhere. A lot of these have now escaped the fight. These are moving to Yaris. They're moving across the Yaris system for whatever reason. They're not invading it, they're just moving there. And Yaris is actually a little outpost that we control. So we've actually got like a moon there with this is an important location. It's got, there's no resources there, but over here there is, I think. Where is it? This one here, the mining station here, has got Zentabia fluid, which is a major luxury resource, and so this is a very, very important location. But we don't actually have any real presence in here. The 7th operates from Yarra Station, and so but they've moved across to defend the world. So they've actually come in to help. So they've actually just arrived, and to sort of take out anything that they sort of can find in this system. But the 3rd are sort of doing the job here. If I don't give them orders, they'll just go after different ships. There's nothing much really that we've got left with troops that we can sort of then go and see. That one's been disabled. I'll just let them do their own thing, I think. Ships move so much faster than theirs. Still a few ships, there we go, just destroy those. That one needs to be destroyed as well. So the fleet itself has now moved out. 16th is still operational. It's down to now got 2 infantry, 3 armour. Now the 2 infantry, there may be more ships. Like if I sort of hover over that one, if I just use the back arrow, we may be able to see where the other ships are. See how there's a couple of ships back over here that are highlighted? So they must be, so they've actually still got ships that we can't see them, but they're actually in here somewhere on their way through. Now they may have picked up troops over this side, who knows, but there's only a handful of ships of that fleet that we have to contend with in here. Now back at Yaris, this little fleet of ships that we see through here, unknown mission. So, but that will end up just moving to Yaris, moving to the star, and then it will bounce off and go back home again. So that invasion fleet has now failed. The 3rd I'm going to send back to raiding again. So I'm going to go back from manual to raid. Now I can assign the 7th Defence Force to prepare and attack the dagger of Chrysalis. Yep. Assign that mission. The 7th will now move back in to do that attack against one of the ships of the 16th. So that invasion has been thwarted. This is where the long-range scanners are really, really important. Now these guys are going off. The 8th Defence Force, for example, has got no mission, but it's moving back into the Garra system. If we have a look at our war, sorry, not the diplomacy. We don't want to do that just yet. If we have a look at the war progress, they haven't destroyed nothing of ours because really, like there's so many targets inside our own systems that are there that are from them that we want to essentially go and just really clear them out from everywhere that they've got. Now they've still got a whole lot of different mining stations in this territory, and we want to destroy them while we can. There goes the 5th Attack Force to go and fulfill this war mission to destroy that enemy refueling station. And so they're just moving out to now do that mission. They're again set to raiding. Got the 10th Bombardment just sitting there waiting for us to then go into the homeworld. We do actually have, back in here now, so we've just taken out this world. I'm going to go and queue up a resort base and a large mining station here. I want to start to get a big presence in this particular system. And we have ghost ships, which is one of the things we end up having that are unique to us. There's another resort base there. Now this one here has got 4 protection. This one here has got 4 as well. It's got an armor barracks. It does too, that's interesting. Okay, if we have a quick look and see, defensive strength of 1637, 12. So that one's slightly easier for us. So we'll send the 4th to kill off this resort, and we'll get the 2nd now. The 2nd is nearly out of fuel, and Actually, the fourth, I need to take this. So I do want to grab this Caslon mine. Pretty sure that's the only actual location that's there. So we'll just go back in. So our goal is to take the Draco system. There goes a fuel tanker. The fuel tanker is coming across to, this one's just a random fuel tanker, and it's decided to come out and try to fuel up the second. The second is now nearly completely out of fuel. And so that fuel tanker is just going to come in and it's just thought, okay, look, I'm going to try to automatically refuel these ships. I'm assuming. Yep, so that's what it's doing. And in the debris, we start to find different things. So I'll just pause that for a second. So these guys are now coming in to destroy this station. Again, you can see the yellow lines that we see. That's the point defence. This one won't last long. Some of these different missions now that we've got time. So finding treasure in the debris. War mission accomplished. So our war score goes up by plus 20k, and increased enemy war weariness goes up a little bit as well. So we're at -2 war weariness. They're now going to be a little bit up there as well. They are better at war than what we are. So we'll dismiss that one. I'm going to take this world for myself. So I'm just going to go and put a large mining station there. So this is where any Caslon location that I can get my hands on, I will. Let's go and see what we have in terms. So this is the fifth. Yeah, so the fifth is still set to raid. It will then just go back in. It's got no mission at the moment, but if it can find other targets, we can just set up those targets again. So if we just go back into the enemy targets, I'll do it not by name, but I'll do it by distance from selected item or capital. So if I go and do it from Garrus, I think that's how that will then work. Is that changing things? Is it moving around if I change it? Yeah, it does. So that's changing the... I like this, actually, distance from selected item or capital. So if we go across into the Garrus system, we should then get a list of the things that are closest. So we'll just go into all of these different these base targets and just queue up attacks against all of these. And that way we'll just get rid of everything that's inside the location that's inside our territory. Yes, heaps. They've got heaps of stuff. This is a good way of doing it. And so we won't go crazy trying to take things out that are too far away. But yeah, this is a good thing for us to do. This way we just get rid of everything that they've got. So we're now into Windus. Just everything that's in this no man's land. We're going to now we get to Upsilonus. So I'll leave all the Upsilonus stuff. If I go and grab the fifth, are there any that here that we need to look at? Yeah, I'll target a few more of these. So we're sort of waging economic war against them, and ultimately we'll then try to take over like all of the mining locations. Just while we're at war with, and then the secondary thing we'll do. So the second, we'll start to see when that refueler gets close, it will then start to fuel up all of the different ships. Again, there's very little abstraction in what the game does. So this fueler has to then get in close enough to be able to then sort of transfer its fuel across to some of the ships. There it goes. Refueling this ship over through here. And if we look at the second, so it's now fueling up. And it will just keep on doing those until it runs out of fuel, and then it will go off and try to find another fuel source. This one here, we can now go in and get our own large mining station in with it. Get the fourth again. The fourth is sort of starting to get a little bit low on fuel, but getting hold of the refueling from here means that the two refueling ships that we actually have in through here will be able to take fuel from this planet and start to use it in other ways. Just go and kill this off, but the fuel is getting very, very low. The fuel is required to run the generators. The generators have to then run the reactors. The reactors then need to what we need. If we don't have that, we move at very, very diminished speeds. So we're sort of like it's we can also just go and tell it to wait for the fuel tankers, which I might do after we take this out. And if we look at the second again, so we're slowly getting these things fueled up. So the third fleet is going off to do that raid there. The first fleet has been set to defend. I'm going to tell it to go off and now do a raid, become a raider. It will then start to also go and pick up missions to do in here. I'll just tell it to go and stop and clear any queued up missions, but then it will then just go off and do its thing. So we need to now defend important research station at Yaris, which, yep, we'll accept that. That's something we'd be wanting to do anyway. But we've got so much more troops in here than what they have. Even the 7th, I might get the 7th to extend its range out to 100 and tell it to go off and raid as well. Just because there's not really any threats now left. How's the second going? They're starting to get that fuel in. That's a fuel tanker. Is that other fuel tanker still in here? Yep, so this guy is still got 2,500. Orangutan saying, is the Boscar and Battlestar Galactica still around in this game? I think it is. I don't think we've quite been able to kill it yet. I don't know if we can see it. I've now gotten rid of my... I no longer have an ambassador back in through here. Okay, so it's now saying that we should try to end our war. We've got like a good score through here, but I want to keep it until we actually get this presence. It's very important we get the Draco system. So just go and decline that one. Incoming fleet detected, the 5th Defence Force. So they've got a force. Now we don't have any long-range scanning out through this other side, so this is where we have to be a little bit careful. The 4th really don't have the fuel to stay in a protracted combat, and so here comes another fleet of the enemies. If we just go and try to select that. So what have they got? 2 destroyers and 3 frigates. So it's not terribly big with what it's doing. There's an explorer, just exploring the system as well. The 4th. Going after some of their ghost ships. Now they're offering to end the war. So this is a white peace, but we need that system. And again, just to go over, the reason I have to say no with this and have to decline that is because of the victory conditions. They haven't gotten any closer. In fact, when we look at this, they've actually dropped down a little bit. The see how the third one down, spend the most time at war in the galaxy. They were at 98% there, I think, and build the most military ships. The Imperial Artooks have also built a lot more now. And so they're diminishing. That's going down slightly. And they haven't really gone any further. The 11% across the economy, population, and territory. We may have enough time to keep on going with this. but I need that system to be able to then respond to it. So the Draco system is very important to us. How's the second going? These are still refueling up, but they're close. And in fact, I've just got that one there. It still has got very limited fuel. This is the one with our general on board. So we'll wait until we end up with that one through there. So I'm going to decline this for now, and then we'll take the Draco area as our staging point against the homeworld of these guys. And this is going to be a bit of a pain with what we're going to be doing, but we'll just have to keep it going that way. Incoming fleet detected. Yep, so we've got that one through there. Then we've got new mining station completed. Not going to worry about where those are. Oh, here we go. We've now got a fleet called the 18th Fleet, which is on an unknown mission. This is actually an attack fleet, and so their strength is 3,000, and you can see it's moving in towards the Garrus system. So they're moving across. With that one selected, I'm only seeing, I don't know, there's a whole lot of ships coming in. So I can sort of get that one lined up. Where are they heading to? So they're moving off in that direction. Gizor. Now Gizor, there is a refueling station there, but that's ours. All right, the fact that that's there, the third fleet is ready to go. It's moving to Pyridae, which is way back over there. I'm going to let that one continue raiding. We've got the 8th Defence Force back in through there. But the 1st Attack Force is actually moving in. I think that these guys are moving into, this is an attack group. These are moving in to try to defend Gizor. So we should be able to destroy this and destroy these when they come in. Let's just have a look and see. So this is their 1st attack force. This is what we want to be doing. We want to be sort of eradicating what we can see. Let's just ditch all that. Destroyer is under attack. Where was that? Okay, these are just lone ships that are just wandering around the place. There must have been a pirate group that we destroyed at some point, but I don't remember doing it. These guys are still operating. Now the 4th, the fuel is desperate. The fuel is absolutely desperate here. The 2nd, still waiting on these ships coming back in. What's going on? Let's just have a quick look and see what's happening with the with that refueler. It's now disappeared again. Transferring to the downfall of Roskiri. Let's go to the 2nd. Is that it there? Yes, it is. So that will be refueled fairly soon. All right, let's watch this one come in. So just getting rid of the Gizor system. It's going to be a little bit more, there's no, oh here we go, there's another defence fleet coming in as well. So we're now starting to see the ships that were fighting, you see how they've got like a presence in through here as well. They've been fighting the Ardils before they fought us, and so most of their ships will come from this direction, not from the homeworld. We had the invasion fleet which was hovering around in here, which we've now destroyed. But we're now going to start to see a lot more of these. So we're going to need to have more defence type, like rather than raiding, we'll probably end up needing to keep some of these fleets on defence. But this one, the first attack fleet that we actually have through here, do we actually have a? Oh no, that one's okay. This looked like it was a little bit damaged. That's actually not a bad little planet there, actually. So we'll actually end up taking that one ourselves. This thing won't last long. There's no resources on that world. Okay, so we'll put a large mining station there, and here comes the enemy fleet. Now they've moved over there. Are they going somewhere else? Move to the Upslowness Distress, which should be one of their ships. small tankers there. I don't know where the Upsilonus Distress is. We can look for it. Upsilonus Distress. If we go back into exploration and go back into search known items. No, we're only seeing Upsilonus Disturbance, which is a small freighter, but we don't know where the other one actually is. So it seems to be sort of coming back through again. We don't know what the mission of that group is either. I'll just clear this one out. So that's a newish system to be able to find things in the game. But that one where it's trying to get to, I don't know where that is. The first is you can see it's going off to attack different mining stations. But in this case, we want it to do as much damage into here as it possibly can. So we'll attack this back ship. Is it jumping again? Now it's going off to refuel at near 4 mining station. Is that the whole group maybe doing that? That's ours. Let's go back to it again. Yeah. So they're going to near 4. Now this is we've got this. There's near with an apostrophe in the middle of it, and then there's near without the apostrophe. The other near system is over here, but the near with the apostrophe system is here, where they've still got a big presence. This group is still going off somewhere else. It's only a smallish fleet. I'll just leave the other fleets around to do it. So these are off. These are wandering off to do other different attacks coming in as well. Let's go and grab our first fleet, and we'll just meet them at that location. So. So we'll go across to near 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be maybe even further back out. Is that? No, we've been looking for a big ship, a big planet with a Caslon mine. That'll be it there. Near 4. There it is. So the first is going to attack this. So just tell it to go and attack it, and we're going to end up on top of this particular fleet. And then we can destroy it and then take the Caslon mine from them. So we'll move across, they're going to move across, so we should actually end up moving off as they move. They're slightly faster than us. So they're now going into hyperspace. 5th Defence Force has been travelling towards another ship. That's okay, we won't worry about that one. And that's the, actually where's the 5th? Oh, they're coming in here. This is still it. That's okay where that is. So the 4th, I'm still just going to go and destroy these. Now I'm going to tell the 4th fleet to refuel. Refuel from fuel tankers. They can just stay there. And we'll get our 2nd, which now should be good enough to go in and attack. I'm going to attack this world here. So I'm going to do an invasion. In this one we won't have it all our own way. Prepare and invade. Prepare just means that they're going to be trying to get the timing right as much as they possibly can. So Oliver's in, sorry, I missed some of these comments. So Oliver's in saying, good evening from Earth, Germany, Berlin. Welcome. And Cora and Dara saying, I never could make, yes, actually we did that one before. That was fairly old. So I'm sorry if I've sort of missed comments. I think I'm pretty much up to date. So I think we're still doing okay. So let's continue on. That's now, this ultimately will be one of the ones that we then, we'll take this planet, and then we'll see if we're still strong enough, we'll then try to take this planet as well. So we're now moving our 2nd fleet across to do this invasion. Seeing other ships moving down towards these. Our 1st fleet should follow these in, but they'll be a bit slow. Here they go. Different mining stations coming in. Now they're moving in to attack, I don't know what. We have defensive forces back in through here. They should be able to take control of that one. These raiders are just going off and doing their own thing, just automatically. The third fleet is now also going back in just to clean out the various locations that we sort of see. So the first is no longer automated, this is now manual. Because ultimately we want to be right on top of them as they're refueling. So they'll be sort of cycling through to get their fuel up from this station. Here we go. Half speed again. Now as we come through, I need attrition here, so this is going to be the first fleet. I'm just going to go and destroy what I can. So I'm just going to attack these ships that are close rather than going through to the base, which is, we set the base up as a target, but we'll just destroy these ships as we come through. The more we can gang up, and this is where our superior speed really kicks in, because we can essentially you know, just stay away from different ships. We can move away as well if there's a problem. The bases have got longer range than the ships. So I'm trying to use the point defense to stop stuff from coming in. There comes more Epsilon torpedoes. Alright, so we'll just go back to the first again and start to wipe all of these out. When the second gets close, we'll have a look at that as well. Just do little right clicks, and that way they've got a target. It would just default to attacks. This is one of their attack fleets, but they've had to come in piecemeal against us, which gives us a big advantage. So I'm not focusing on the refueling station just yet. I'm still trying to refuel. Trying to get away from there. It's pretty much all that's left now. We've got away, so now we'll just get rid of the base. Invading enemy colony Ordberg. So if we have a look at this one here, this is now our second is now going in to do the attack. This is actually a raiding force that's come through. This is the 7th defense, which is now set to raiding. And it was going to be attacking this particular mining station. I'm going to set the first back. I don't think there's anything else, and we've got a couple of injured ships. So we've got another group that's back over here. What's that one? That is the 18th Fleet. So we can see what that is. We've got a strike force coming in as well. 19th Strike Force. That's also trying to refuel at this station. No fuel on these ships, so they're completely out of fuel. This is where the economic war is working well for us. The 18th is all over the place. They've got a couple of fueling ships back out through there. That's it, pretty much it. That's all that's left of those. So first I'm going to go and tell this one to go back to auto duty, which is, so I'll just set this one back up to raid. And again, that will then be able to raid within that range. I'll change the range from 50 to 100, just to get the home world into range now as well. There is actually still a fleet of ships in here. Just one ship. 14th Defence Force, which I won't worry about. He's not really a threat to us, but the second is now coming in to do the invasion. So, our ships have now come back in. So if we look at the second, they're now moving in with the various. Have we offloaded everything? Yeah, it's just starting to offload now. You can see there that this is actually at this stage. We've only got like 2 armor, one infantry on the bottom here, and there's more that have to be dropped in. So there'll be other invading forces. Nothing on board there. Another 2 there. There may be some still in space, actually. I think that might be one there. No, there's a hull section. How are we going with the 4th? Have they refueled? No, they're still waiting on their refuelers to arrive. Nothing else back there. They're just so they're just sitting back. Where's the rest of the second? Yeah, that's it. Okay, there should be more on the ground than what we're seeing. So there must be more going to be actually coming in. So with the combat through here. They've got some defensive facilities. They've got the armour barracks. They've got a native planet type for these R-Tooks. These are fairly weak. These brigades. They are defending at 214 actually, which is not too bad. You can see there some of these. The militia is only defending at 60, but they do actually have some which are defending fairly strongly. We're attacking at about the same strength there actually, to be honest, and we're attacking at 145 there, but we're attacking at 195 with those and 210 there. So for whatever reason, that one there, the 5th Mercenary Brigade, has actually got a defensive strength there of 214. So they're defending quite strong, except for the other militia that's just come back in as well. So they've got a total defence there of 1742. They've got fortified line at the stage. Once we start to break through this, that will then disappear. Back over here, we've got an attacking general bonus. Native planet type is also good for us, for the Wekarus. We do have an armoured breakthrough and we do control space. So we've got some big advantages in through here. Let's just go and watch. Just on pause. Should see more forces. Here we go. We've got more forces now landing. We still have even, yeah, here we come. So the others were in space. So you can see there we've now got overwhelming numbers. And we'll start to smash our way through. Now the alien fleet's been detected. That's okay. We'll just dismiss that one. I'm now invading this one. So we need to control this system. And we want to get through this one relatively unscathed if we can. Like we don't really want to be losing too many troops. And you can see there that they've now lost their defensive line. So they're now sort of being pushed back. They're down to 1,000. This one here is in a bit of trouble. There goes the last of them, last of the attack forces. So we've got it to 4,000. There should be a general. There's their general. General Coloscent Yerod. Under attack. Yeah, that's okay. Now the R-Tooks shouldn't really go and rebel against us once we claim this. So I can leave a couple of these as garrison troops and then move off to the other world and hopefully take that as well fairly easily, hopefully. We're not going to have as much. There we go. We're now destroying more and more troops. It's just our top populations. I don't really want any of these to be destroyed as such, otherwise we're going to have to sort of start again with them. Yeah, we're now breaking through. I want us to end the war. I'm going to decline that for now. Our war weariness is getting up there, which does have a bearing. Almost got the cruisers now as well. Here we go, just a couple more. And we survived that one, that's good. Okay, so we've now taken over the colony of Udberg. This is now ours. We'll dismiss that. And in reality, like we have to be careful because I should just go and pause this for a second. New resort base completed. Okay, so that's good. Where do we build that? Not out this way. So we've still got the attacks going on against their main fleets in through here. We've sort of been able to do this surprise invasion, which is good. Now, this one here at this location, you can see that some of these have been automatically designated as garrison troops. Other ones are not. We're wanting to control that ourselves. This has not come through as a unhappy planet yet. It may still happen. Now, this is interesting. It's Scroll of Generations. This is actually a plus 5% colony happiness. This is an artifact. So the Scroll of Generations is a lengthy parchment scroll covered in dense writing. The ancient scroll is unusual in that Artooks have only recently acquired written language and that their modern script bears no resemblance. Thus, the Artooks cannot read the scroll, but they presume it outlines their extensive tribal genealogies from times past. So to move the artifact, we can move it around if we wanted to, but I'm happy to keep it there for now. It's not dramatic in what it does do, but it is it's one of the. I don't think it's one of the artifacts that we need. If we have a bit of a look at the Wackerus, we need to possess the Cenotaph of the First Generation artifact, possess the Airship of the Ancestors artifact, and the Orb of the Ancestral Strength artifact, but not that one. So that's not one that we have. Do you move those back to the homeworld? You can if you're wanting to. Which is actually would be a good thing for us to do, but we don't actually have any real presence here that's going to go back to the homeworld. Like, we're going to be here for a length of time with these fleets, so I'd probably have to really sort of try to just get a specific. Actually, I don't know if I move it off. Transfer it to any colony, ship, or base in your empire by control right clicking on the distinct destination to show a pop-up menu with a transfer option. I will do that. I'll move it back. The happiness essentially means money, and so if we go back to Roskiri, which is our most profitable location, if we do move it back to Roskiri, so if I go control right click with that artifact selected, transfer the Scroll of Generations to Roskiri 1, there we are. So it's going to be transferred across, hopefully. Let's just do that again. Is it transferring? I'm not sure. So it will take time for it to happen. What have we got in through here? This is the 16th Invasion Force again. Is trying to collect itself at Yaris. These have still got the 5 infantry, 3 armour, but they're not invading. They're just moving into the Yaris system. We just need to make sure that we keep some defence back this way. At the moment, everyone's raiding and clearing things off. If we go back to the 7th, which is based, I'm going to set the one back to defend, and its home base is Yaris Station, so we can just go back to Yaris. But in the meantime, everyone else is just sort of clearing out. Now we're a long way ahead with with what we've captured there. Now the next one we should still be able to take with our troops, and I do want to get both of these because at the moment we don't even control this area of space. We need both colonies to be able to do this. This is going to start to cost me a little bit. I am going to go and try to build a right from the start a planetary administration center. So we'll get that one established, and we also want to make sure that we end up with the second picking up as much troops here as we can and just leave a handful. I don't think we need to have too many back, with it mainly just being Artooks that are on the planet. So if we go across to the show the colony details, so that one can be a garrison. I'll take that one with me again. So we'll just ungarrison that troop. We'll ungarrison that troop. Ungarrison that troop. So I'm going to keep this one behind. Actually, I will keep that one as well. But I'll take these more powerful ones with me. So I'm only leaving 2 as garrisons. That hopefully will be enough. So we just get the second again, our invasion fleet, and go and load troops at Adberg. So they're going to go and pick up, at the moment they've got nothing, they'll go and pick up what's left there, and then we can go back to this other world and take that one as well. So hopefully that will be okay, and hopefully we don't get any rebellions on this particular world. Dismiss that one. And they come to pick it all up. Got 3 infantry, 6 armour. Still, that group there needs to be picked up. What I might do is I might actually go and grab a few more. If we're just going to manage troops, just go and build a few of these hunting parties of the Artuks. Just waiting on those to be picked up. And I'm looking for unhappy planets at the top, which we're not seeing just yet. Okay, they've all now been picked up from that location. The ones we're not seeing it moving off. I'm going to transfer that one across to the second invasion fleet. It's going to be a few more days, and then it's going to end up in there. So the second is now ready to go. We do actually have the general on board. Okay, time for this one here. So we get the fourth, which is still trying to refuel. And this particular world as well. We do actually have 1.4 billion that we actually control here. So let's just go across and build another base. And we're going to be mainly getting attacked in this direction. So if I select a planet and then just do a long right click, I'll just build a small spaceport. I can build a research station here as well. Sorry, a resort base. What bonuses does it have? Yeah, there's a bit of a scenario, a scenery bonus there. Yeah, I mean it's hardly any difference. So I'll build the resort base over this other side. Okay, the fourth now need to move across, and we will blockade this planet. So we'll just go and blockade. So it's going to move across, and then the second, strength of 2-3. Again, it's not fantastic. Some of these will actually just be trying to pick up a bit of strength. So they're now going to be blockading this particular world. Well, let's go for it and just see how we go with the second now. 2-3-9-1. You can see as they heal up the forces, but I think we'll go in and do the attack. So we'll just do a prepare and attack, prepare and invade. So we'll just come in and take this world as well. Now, while all this is happening, we do want to make sure that we end up with any refueling station back in through there. It's just carbonite. So I want to make sure that I control as much as I possibly can in through here. One still has to be attacked. Nothing much else over there. So we're trying to build this station. These are just random escorts and things. That's an important refueling station for us. Nothing much we need there. The others will just be able to sort of control with what we're doing anyway. That invasion force, they seem to be sort of preparing there, which we shouldn't really have a big problem with. There's nothing much, even though there's lots of fleets in through here, there's nothing we have to really sort of chop and change as such. There's an invasion fleet down through there, which is the Ardils. They've only got 1 armour on theirs. Well, let's watch this invasion, and then we'll call it quits, I think, for today. But this is This is good. I think we nearly lost the game, but I think we're still sort of operating fairly well. Now moving in, they'll then send their troops in. Hundredth Monkey is saying, Daz, how would you rate the Wekera's strength in space combat compared to other factions, given their special techs and ships? I like it a lot. They've got very, very strong weapons. Not very many of them on their ships, but they are, and their speed is unbelievable. So you can sort of hit and run with them. Yeah, they're good. They're very, very good in that sort of sense. So we're getting ready for the invasion. Invading the enemy colony now. Dismiss that one. So we now see, yeah, here we go. So we just dropped really, really quickly, which is great. So we do have an advantage, so we should be able to smash our way through here. Again, hopefully we don't lose any troops. They've got some Daewit population. They've also got some Harkonish population here as well. Okay, we've got to send the 7th Defence Force to prepare an attack. Yep, we'll assign that mission. And we're under attack there, unfortunately, but we'll just let that one sort of take to see what it can. We may lose some of these troops with this attack, but we've still got a good number here. So yeah, hopefully we can hold on with the overall strength of this one here. Health is down to 36%. We are smashing our way through. Yeah, we're doing okay here. This is good. Actually, there's some Gizarians here as well. So all sorts of different populations. Yep, so we're smashing these. Almost lost this one. It's down to 5% health. Will we get there before it gets killed? It's down to 4%. 3%. Maybe. 2%. Yes, we did. Okay, so we almost lost that one, but that's actually, that's good. Okay, that's great. So we've now taken, another hive swarm has been spotted. We've got that one through there. New resort base completed. And accept treaty. No, we don't want to do those treaties, so that's all fine. So this is good. I do want to take all of the armor with me and just leave the others on the actual planet itself. So so this planet has just been taken. That will automatically then change, or it should. Yeah, there we go. It's given itself garrisons for most of the troops. I might just leave it there for a little while. Again, we're not seeing any unhappy troops, but this one does actually have a few other types. So we've got Daewits of nearly 700 million Daewits. They're not going to be wanting to. Their assimilation is going to take a long time. And then we have just trace numbers of Harkonish and Gizarians with a whole lot of Artooks, 1.1 billion Artooks. Which should be fine. The Artooks will be fairly happy living in our empire. So this now gives us the staging point that we were looking for to take the Dat Nui. So we've done the war score that we had. Let's have a quick look again at the victory conditions. This is being pushed back slightly, ever so slightly. We've sort of saved ourselves here a little bit, which is good. The Daewits are now dropping away because they've lost those two worlds. This is going to cost us a fortune for a length of time. So I don't really want to be. I need to keep hold of my money because these planets, until they become assimilated. If we even have a look at Han, look at the start of the session, we had a look and see how much Han was costing us. Han is still costing us nearly 9,000. It was 11 or 12,000. At that stage, the assimilation with this, we're only got like the Ikaru that are here is only 34 million of those, but they're nearly fully, they're 65%. The Akdarians are 58%, but the Gizarians are very resistant to assimilation. I can control what happens with them. With the Gizarians, we're trying to remove them from this particular world, but it's just not going to really happen, I don't think. yeah, it's not really an ideal world for them, but yeah, there are a fair few of them, unfortunately. How are we going with the quality? Yeah, damage is still up there. Damage is still quite high from the nuclear fallout that was happening in through there. The different pirate ships wandering around through that side as well. But we're now in a position where I'd be happy enough to have peace. We've cleared out all of this stuff. They're now wandering back off. They don't know what they're doing, this particular group. Attack the third fleet. They're trying to refuel as well. The third, I don't know where our third fleet is, but it's there's our third fleet there. But yeah, they've got no real, they're a bit rudderless with everything that's actually happening, and so we're sort of just coming in to do different raids on different worlds. And there's nothing much there that we need to worry about. So this is all their old territory, so at least we get to clear this out now. Just unpause. Yeah, so the Draco system is now ours. Just make doubly sure that we are setting up a mining station there. Yes, we are building a mining station. And this one as well, we want to ultimately end up with a base. Now I'm going to put the base pointing the other way. Small spaceport, so we'll build that one as well. And these actually as well, I need to go back into the facilities and build a planetary administration complex, which will then help with the assimilation of everything. We're nearly there with the cruisers as well, so we've sort of almost got those. Maybe I'll just play a little bit longer until we... Actually, I might leave it here so that when we get the cruisers, I can then sort of do the next session that we play with this, with those. Now, I do actually have, I know that Gal Civ is coming up. What's the date? I forget what the date is today. It's about the 5th, I think. So it's about right for me to play. I'm not sure when I'll be playing Gal Civ. I may still get one more session of this one before we flick across to Gal Civ. But I really quite like just the, how detailed this has become. It's actually it's been quite an exercise. Now everyone's going into the Faraday system, just for these raids that we're doing. So we're sort of destroying their infrastructure. I'll just let the automatic things happen with the building of the stations. But yeah, we've got a lot of defences down this way. So yeah, they don't really have a hope with what they're doing in the war. They're now offering to end the war. And I think this is now, we're now in a position. How much more of infrastructure have they still got in here? Nothing much really. There's nothing. Yeah, no, we've cleaned it out. We've cleaned it out. So all those raids that we had set up have now fulfilled. We don't have any. We're not seeing the. Actually, there's a construction ship there, which is going off to build in our own system. That one's going back to build at Garrus. Do we still have this presence here? We do. It's damaged. As long as I've got that, I'm happy enough with that one. So yeah, I think I'll actually end the war. We've taken the strategic location that we wanted, the Draco system, for starting to attack the Gizarians if we get the opportunity, is under control. We haven't really smashed the Dayuts yet. Our war weariness is up to 4, so I'm thinking we do it now. We're a long way ahead. I could actually look for other benefits, but I'm actually happy enough with just having a white peace. So I think I'll accept this treaty. So there we are. The war is over. We can now sort of go back and rebuild and sort of reset. So I think we're sort of done there, actually, guys. So that's all good. And I will leave it here. So yeah, it's a little way off, like 100 days, and we get the light cruisers, which would be good. And yeah, I think that I forget when I'm playing this one next. It'll either be next week again at the same time, or I can't remember when I've got the Slytherin streams for it. But I'll keep on playing this one. This has been this has been great getting into the mid game like this. I normally don't get this far into the games, but it's been pretty cool actually having these objectives to sort of then try to get to look at further objectives. But we really are in a position here to put a lot of pressure on their homeworlds if they go to war with us again. I don't know if these guys will be yeah, these still don't have massive fleets. We're not sort of seeing too much going on with these guys. So I'm not sure if they will be back, trying to dominate this region of space again. Like, I think we've certainly given them a massive blood nose the last time that we were fighting them. But I will leave it there. So, yeah, 100th Monkey saying more mid games, please. A lot of people have really enjoyed this series, actually, and I have too. I've immensely enjoyed it. So we're going to keep on. I do want to keep on playing this particular series. So even if I bounce off and play something else for a little while, I'll definitely be playing this one on a regular basis or semi-regular as we sort of get deeper and deeper into it. It's been a lot of fun playing it this far into it. Yes, Ron saying thanks for the ruthless space imperialism. Yes, it's been good, and we didn't even have to bombard these planets. We'll have to bombard Upsilonus. There's a lot of planets in Upsilonus, so we'll be wanting to smash this next time we go to war with them. If we can crush Upsilonus, that really puts them out of the picture for any length of time as well. And if we can take all of the get, like at the moment we're starting to sort of now get the Caslon. If we can just do in the next war, we'll then go and do even more with that. So the war we're in sort of stops us from really wanting to stay at war for too long, but that was a good outcome. We achieved what we wanted to achieve, which was the Draco system, and we got rid of all of their presence that was still inside our borders. So no, that was very, very good for us. Do you have the Shakturi on? I can't remember, actually. I may have turned it off so we could try to get federations, but we're just too... No one likes us. Like, we're a very unliked... Our reputation is terrible from the bombardment that we've done, and there's no one that is even close to liking us. Except for the Artuks. They're actually neutral. So, yeah, we do have a non-aggression treaty with them, but that's it. That's pretty much it. So it's it's a tricky one. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back again tomorrow to play. I do have a stream that I've got to do actually on Slytherin tomorrow. So I may be doing that one, but I will also be playing at a later date, later time slot, in about 27 hours from now. I'll be playing on this channel again as part of the Turn-Based Thursday sort of celebration, Turn-Based Thursday Fest, playing some Xenonauts too. So I'm not sure if I'll make that into a series or just sort of play a little bit of it. So Falcon saying you will bounce back, and you can always use research as for diplomacy. Yeah, that's actually a good point. And also I can actually go and research diplomacy for targets that I want. Like if I do want to get friendly with the Gizarians, as an example, if maybe the Artuks really are, because the Artuks are right in the middle of everything. Yeah, we're trying to ally with them anyway, and we set that one to manual with what they're doing. So yeah, maybe with the Artuks, because they're sort of they're out and about over here, so they're sort of on the edge of space. So maybe we could end up with a federation of the Artuks and us to take out the Gizarians. So it actually helps with assimilation. Yes, yeah, actually that's another point. Maybe we'll queue some of them up before we even leave. Let's just go and do that now. So before we actually get going, let's go down the bottom here. Oops, I'll just cancel that. So we're going to we'll go Dayots, because we've got a fair few of those. Now these don't cost me anything. Gizarians I'll grab as well. And Artuks, they're the ones that mainly we've got on the worlds that we're dealing with. The other ones I won't really worry about. So so we'll start off there. Just queue them up. I might even pop them up above the electromagnetic defences, because they're going to come very, very fast. Just a couple of months to get those. So yeah, that's a good idea actually. That's a very, very good idea to even just for the assimilation. That will then sort of mean money in our coffers. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching. And again, Super Mew Kitty Cat, if you can hear this, you do need to pick up your games that you won. You won them 2 days ago. I will actually, I normally put them back in the prize pool after a couple of days, but I do know that you do come into these streams fairly often, so I will actually persist and try to get those out to you. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow if you're around.